Hey, this is Chase Sexton. You're listening to the MotoXpod show.
What's up, you guys? Jeremy McGrath here. You are listening to MotoXpod show.
From the home of the Dallas Cowboys, Texas Stadium, this is round 7 of the Coors AMA Supercross Series. Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Huffman. The question here, in front of an almost sellout crowd at Texas Stadium, is can Ricky Johnson be stopped? He swept both races last week at the Pontiac Silverdome, and tonight Jeff Ward and Lachine are going to try to take him out. Let's take a look at the action.
What's up, guys? Rest in peace, Larry. God damn it. Stupid. I'm stupid. What's up, guys? Rest in peace, Larry Huffman. Had it muted so we could hear that audio. Rest in peace, Larry Huffman. One of the classic announcers of our sport and a lot of other cool sports. He was the voice of the Super Bowl of motocross back in 1972, and he passed away. So, yeah, once again, rest in peace, Larry Huffman. Well, guys, it's time for another all-new Vital MX MotoXpod show presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We have 3 great guests coming in, which includes Yamaha Star Racing's Cooper Webb, Yamaha Star Racing's Brent Duffe, who is the wrench for Hayden Deegan. Lots to talk about with those guys. And originally, we were going to have Will Hahn on. He had to reschedule. He forgot about a family event. And our buddy Alex Ray jumped in, so we're going to see what's going on with A-Ray and O'Neill and talk a little bit about the Nationals and, you know, what he's seen, what he's enjoyed. A-Ray is always a lot of fun. So going to be a great show. A lot of cool stuff, I think. I think the Cooper Webb, Duff interviews are going to be a blast because those guys actually were talking about coming on the show tonight. I'm going to try to get some shit talking going between those guys. But before we get into the meat of the show in studio, as always, on time, Scotty Thompson. So you dumb... Right. You guys talking over everything. That was all me.
Yeah, that one was all you, bud.
I blame Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Scotty Thompson?
Well, I knew you were talking about me because you said always here, always
on time.
Yeah. So I figured you were talking about me. So
the what's the word? Like the epitome of a great co-host.
Yeah.
Responsible.
Whoa, I like this.
You respect the show.
Thanks.
It means something to you. If only we could get your questions better.
Oh, there had to be a but. There had to be a but.
Wait for this shoe to drop.
And also in studio, once again, he's been gone for a while. He had his son fill in last week. I mean, I don't know what job you can have where you go, oh, hey, son, just go to my job today and fill in. They'll be fine. What's up, TJ Smith?
Well, I got to figure out how to keep my paycheck for this place rolling in. So,
yeah.
Good to have you guys back. Southwick was this weekend, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We're getting ready to jump into the Racetech Open discussion, and we're going to get to our father-son stories that we didn't get to last week. That's going to be a big part of our open discussion before we get to Cooper Webb. I just really wanted to get to those stories. But let's do the Racetech Open discussion. And as you guys know, Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company with over 35 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to everyday riders. But they also are building a reliable world-class engine, which requires a combination of state-of-the-art equipment, experienced, knowledgeable technicians. Racetech also provides quality precision engine services using the best equipment and processes in the industry. So all you guys got to do, doesn't matter where you are, go to racetech.com, find your local service center, and get to know your rep. Take your stuff to them if you need some help. You need your suspension service. You want to change the fluids, respring it. If you got some engine work, those guys can help you out, take care of you. Tons of the top privateers in the industry are using Racetech for suspension and engine work. A lot of teams that you don't even know about are using Racetech. They keep that stuff under the table. But yeah, so Race Tech open discussion. TJ, since you're preoccupied and haven't been here in a while and you're messing with little fidgety things, what do you got there? T-Bolt or
T-Bolt's
bottle opener?
Bottle opener. I'm going to start drinking.
You gonna start drinking?
All
right, Vince. Way to go. Now TJ will never be here.
This is actually quite well made too. So anyways.
T-Bolt USA bottle opener.
They're in the chat this evening as well.
Nice. Well, we're going to get to the T-Bolt USA top 5 in a little while. But right now we're doing the Race Tech open discussion. Southwick has come and gone. Lots of talk going in. It's going to be Hayden's worst track. It was his worst track last year. Things could change. Viala needs to win. Once again, Hayden wins.
He's going to make a fan out of me. Like I was not. How do you say it? I was open about how I wasn't a huge Deegan's fan or the Deegan in general.
Yeah.
And every weekend I'm like, I may actually need to get like a signed jersey.
Well, you kind of said that when he was on last time. You're like, his personality is different when you actually just talk to him than as like I think Steve or we just had the WWE type stuff where they're kind of trying to get in people's heads.
Well, I like that.
They're playing a little bit of a game. You what?
I actually kind of like that part.
Yeah, he's a Baggett fan.
Yeah,
isn't that what Baggett was known for?
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of like that part. But my thing is just the Deegan like aura around the whole group for a long time, watching him in amateurs, all that kind of stuff. But seeing him as a pro, seeing what he can do on a bike, I mean, wow, like the kid's awesome. And I really hope he can keep this level whenever he gets to the 450 class.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of like Jet, the real deal. Like this kid's got something special. He has the personality, but on the track, he makes it happen. I mean, like look at that freaking scrub almost crash thing, and he saved it and like doesn't phase him. He's got so much confidence right now, much like I think we said with Jet and stuff when back in the 90s when McGrath, when he goes in line, he's like, yeah, I'm going to win, man.
Well, like, here's a question for y'all would be, did y'all see this level out of Jet? I don't feel like I did. I don't feel like Jet was like this. Like I didn't expect this.
I think there's
by this point he was.
Well, I think if you're talking results, I think there were
or dominance. Do you think Jet would have like come?
He hasn't won a
back
second moto
every
yet.
single time. No, I'm talking about when he was on 250s.
Oh.
Do you think he would come back from way in the back of the pack and then just catch everybody, dominate, like riding so aggressive? I don't think so.
Maybe not as aggressive because his riding style is different, but I think just the ability to win and be the best guy on the track, yes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts from Southwick and Hayden and just anything stand out?
Well, I was glad to see Anstey lived up to the hype. That was a great ride.
Easy.
No, I know.
I mean, he had some problems. The bike broke. What are you gonna do? Like he crashed and
he got his qualifying time taken away and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was totally a joke. But yeah, Southwick was good. I mean, I thought the first motos were totally boring. Like.
Yeah, I got a text from somebody that said, "Yeah, don't bother with the first motos." But I mean.
Well, I don't know about that because you never know when there's going to be one that's good and one that's not.
Well, it was over by the time I watched it later that night. So he's like, I don't even watch the guy was like, don't even watch the first motos, which I did. But definitely more excitement in motos too. But
yeah, Moto 2s were great. So it was cool to. I guess the things that stood out was cool to see the different guys that showed up and had good rides and the way the track kind of developed. It was kind of slippery, which made them have to be kind of cautious. So. I mean, the second moto was really good. I didn't really know what was going to happen in that. It looked like they were going to leave Chase again, and then him and Hunter passed each other a couple of times. That first pass Chase did on Hunter was wild. That was cool. That was cool to see that kind of aggressive riding from those guys, and just interesting how it turned out.
Are you surprised that that Jet is taking this long? Like the injury obviously is way worse than what it seemed like because he came back and was fast right off the bat.
I mean, I guess you could say that, but he's won except for the first. I mean, hasn't he won every overall since he came back? Mm-hmm. So he's figuring it out.
But you noticed it more this weekend, maybe because it was a sand track and maybe it was a little rougher. So maybe that's why. But it's definitely affected him more this weekend.
And we don't know if he crashed.
The first 10 minutes of the first moto that was Jet.
Yeah. And then when Coop went, or not Coop, but when Chase went by and then Jet. Fired it, went right back by. I was like, oh shit, and then he just didn't have it.
Yeah. When he gets it,
you mentioned you kind of talked about the track itself, and before we started recording, TJ, you said something about the track how it was like it appeared to be a different Southwick than we've ever seen before, And over the years, it's got less and less sandy, but then they had that massive flood there last week where they were talking about how many inches of rain came down. I don't remember how much, but I saw the video. Saw the video where just like the whole track was washing away. So I'm sure that had a huge effect on it, but it's definitely not the Southwick of old.
I wonder if they're not making enough money to bring sand, some local sand in. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe. I guess they could, but dirt's expensive, dude.
I mean, as many people that were there, did you see that place was packed? They made plenty of money. They could put some dirt in that place.
Is it just have they just over the years? I mean, obviously that piece of land has hard underneath it, and it had sand, a layer of sand, and they've just over what has it been 50 years that they've been riding there, that they've just gone through most of that sand and they're just at the bottom.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
That seems to be the kind of common issue is that it's soft and sandy on top, but then it gets hard.
What if it's always been like that, but we just know it now because the four strokes
just get through the bottom,
get down more? Like what if it's really never been any different?
I don't know.
We just imagine it being. I don't remember. I never went. I never rode there. 20
Yeah, but
years.
you could tell.
You go back and watch, like it was like white.
Huge waves.
I know.
You know
I was just joking, but
yeah. That was a dumb joke.
did you feel like it was an exciting race overall, though?
I mean,
Chase, to me, Chase made it exciting, and there was some excitement with Hayden, but like as an
Exciting
overall,
points.
yeah. I appreciate the history and what kind of track Southwick is and how it's the different one on the series. But as far as just like eyeballs on the TV watching it, it's never one that I'm like the most hyped about.
Yeah. Let's talk about before we go ahead.
I'll just say like it kind of proved itself. Like the racing this weekend, it's like, I mean, you get a start and then like you can't really see if you're right behind somebody because of all the spray. So everybody's like 2 seconds apart and it kind of just stays that way.
Sure.
And it's hard to gain momentum and came back. So it's never been like my favorite one to watch, but it's always his story, got its reasons.
Before we do the Yamaha Motor USA highs and lows and then get into the father-son stories, I do want to touch on Chase's rides, the difference in the two rides. I'm going to let you guys start that. I'm going to step into the other room and turn the air down because it's freaking hot in here.
Okay.
If you guys are okay with that. Anyway, are you hot?
No, I'm comfortable, so I know everybody's hot. If I'm comfortable, everybody's hot.
All right, so I'm going to do that. But yeah, Chase, Moto 1, third place, but big gap. Moto 2, it's almost like a totally different guy. It's like the second time this season we've seen that. Once you guys discuss kind of like what you think that's what's going on, can he figure this out where he can be the guy in Moto 2, like at Hangtown, every moto? Because I think if he could be that guy, even if Jet's healed, I feel like we could have some fights. But he's going to have to be that guy, the Moto 2 guy, every moto.
Yeah.
I actually have a theory on this, but I kind of want to see you go first, TJ.
Well, I was going to say I can't remember because I didn't get to watch qualifying. I was out riding. How was his qualifying? Like,
I didn't really see qualifying too much, but I think he was fastest.
That's what I was going to say. Like he came. I wonder if he coming in. Like he's done that multiple times where he was one of the fastest or the fastest at qualifying. Comes in with like all kinds of confidence, and then he has a moto like that, and then he's pissed off because the moto was like as poor as it went for him. And we say for him getting third place and yarded by everybody, that is poor. For anybody else, third place, they'd be excited. But
well, I mean, it cost him the overall. I mean, So,
but I mean, then he's mad for that
second moto.
Second moto.
Hey, we need some YouTube funds because my AC might be a problem. it's set at 75 and it's 78 in here. It's not cooling down.
It's a real feel of 109 degrees outside right now.
Well, I know, but it was much cooler in here earlier.
It's at the heat of the day.
Feel free to send hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of dollars. But no, don't do it on YouTube because then ML keep it all.
Yeah, ML just keeps it.
I would agree with your theory, TJ, on the mental side of things. Like maybe that does happen, but I think the reason why he's mad and getting third in the couple of his first motos is obviously there's been a discussion that they have to work on the bike a lot, and I think that he gets the bike to some points where it's like probably better. He likes it better than he did at Honda, but they're not consistently doing that because it's the first time they've gone to all these tracks on that bike. So I think what happens is that I feel like they're setting it up for the second moto when it gets rough. Because he knows that's where it's going to go,
or they make changes.
They make changes, and then, but they're just not getting the quite dialed in on the first moto. Because then, even in the second moto, it took him. Everybody's saying like, oh, like where did he get those 4 seconds at? Well, I think that's way the bike was set up was to be when it was rougher, and when they got a little tired, and then the bike all of a sudden probably felt better than it did the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Which is why he caught back up to him. So
it'd be nice if we get Chase to come on the show and we could talk about it.
I don't know.
What's up with that, Chase?
I think that they're at some point setting the bike up for when it gets rough, but not able to have that. It's hard for them to find that middle setting.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know they're still working. He's still trying to get comfortable.
How else do you go from that far to just not having the pace in the first moto? And it's happened a couple times this year.
Yeah. I like what he said though. Was this is the first time that he's had that steel frame bike on all these tracks?
Yeah,
they set it up. It does really good in qualifying. They go to the first moto. The track's way different for race. Like set up as a race than it is during practice. And then so he comes back and okay, make these changes. This will make it better. Comes out with a more comfortable bike for second motos.
All right. I do hope Chase gets it figured out so we can have battles the rest of the season. But I want to get to these highs and lows so we can get to the stories and not run out of time.
Before you do that, can I confirm a rumor that's on the chat?
I already know what it is, but go ahead. We're short on time.
Has the socks finally been sent?
Sure.
Keep
your eyes out. They're on their way. They were shipped.
I don't buy it.
The look on your
eyes. Don't believe the media. The media is lying to you guys. Hashtag
fake news. I think that's. Yeah. I told them last night on the Pulp Chat they're sent. Keep your eyes out, bro.
You haven't said I sent his socks.
I told them they were in the mail.
He's
fast one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yamaha Motors USA, a reputation for dominance. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha's new 50th anniversary edition YZs pay tribute to a half-century of championship-winning performance wrapped in stunning retro style. So check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com. Yamaha crushing it. Appreciate their support. They also have amazing bicycles, Yamaha bicycles. I've been loving the e-bike I've been on. I hate that they might want it back eventually. It's a lot of fun. So Yamaha, thank you for your support. Scotty, do you got a couple highs or lows?
Yeah, my high, well, I guess I'll do my lows first. My lows was that I didn't get to ride one of our local tracks that was supposedly prepped perfectly. Had some waiting on some parts for my bike, so didn't get to ride. But the high was Johnsonville.
Oh,
it sounds like it was good. But anyways, my high was that I went and played golf with my buddies instead and broke 80 for the first time. So that was a high for that. So I was happy. And then I guess my low was in racing was Anstey didn't really get a chance. And my high was that where you have 3 guys within 3 points of the championship.
All right. TJ, Yamaha highs and lows?
I guess my low would be just how well Deegan's doing because I just didn't want to be a fan, but I'm going to wind up.
What is your problem?
It's kind of a joke, but you know what I mean. And then my high is I bought a backhoe this week. I'm really excited about that.
Okay, cool. Got a backhoe.
There is kind of like a.
We're gonna have to get to these father-son stories later. There's no way we're gonna get to them all.
You got okay.
Well, that's fine. Go ahead and tell your story. We'll do them at the end, guys. I promise. We'll get them done. We will do them tonight.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now I forgot what I was saying.
We could turn the lights down low like a bedtime story.
What were you just talking about?
I got a
backhoe.
No, it wasn't that.
Right.
It was your
okay. Shane Bagley sent in highs. AC was mint. Dude was fantastic on the mic. Need more for sure. Low title chase in 250s is done. Danger is so much better than his competition. He himself is the only thing that can stop him from the championship. Bubba Scrub was gnarly. Vince Pale from T-Boat USA, top 5 from Southwick. So I'm going to take these as highs and lows because the top 5 wasn't about Southwick. So I'm going to put these as highs and lows. Chase finally beats Jet straight up and holds to finish Moto 2. Hayden saved Scrub to take the lead at the start of Moto 2. Joe pulling off another Moto win. Super tight points race and epic racing in the 450s. And Hunter's performance so far this season did not see it being a 3-man battle up front, but Hunter has made it happen. So a bunch of highs from him, no lows. My high was just that we're back racing. Wasn't another weekend off. I put Joe Shimoda going 9-1, and the 9, he came from 28th to 9th. Yeah. Hell of a ride for Joe. And then AC, I wrote AC down. I just like having him back. He's figured it out. I mean, there was a couple moments where he kind of stumbled over his words, but nobody is as good at it as I am and perfect and makes no mistakes. But AC's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, cool. Just not. We don't have time for any responses. My lows, Ty Masterpool rode well, but I wanted him up front again, battling. So I was a little bit bummed on that. And the red flag and Bo Mary going down. Thank God he's not hurt, but it looked bad. So that was kind of a low.
I hate the red flag was a suck part. I hate the rider got hurt, but they wouldn't have red flagged. Maybe we could have seen something, maybe a little bit of confidence building for Kitchen. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible, but I just think Levi's off right now, man. He's just not as good. I picked him to win the championship. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
Well, it's your fault. You always do that. You did that to Ferrandis. You did that.
It's actually not a terrible point. Maybe let's.
I remember on the last show, I said you were talking about your picks, and I was like, "Were you right?"
I'd have to go back and look.
Oh, because I remember saying because you were like, "Oh, I'm going to pick this," and I was like, "Well, you know how that goes."
Literally last week.
Yeah.
So I picked Jet, Hunter, and Chase.
You almost had it right.
I mean, Jet won.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
but in theory, Jet should have lost if who I pick is going to do.
Yeah. So
it didn't work.
Debunks that. Sorry.
Maybe it's only championship.
Yeah, I think so.
You gonna say something?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's do some of these father-son stories that we had a contest a couple weeks ago. If you guys don't know, and I asked for father-son stories, best day riding with your dad, and we gave a FXR care package away. That should have went out this week, actually. Derek Gravitt won.
I'm just thinking of now the care package not showing up like the socks, and that's going to be a thing for about 2 months.
Our winner doesn't live in Australia.
I'm just saying.
So
don't believe the hype, people. He's trying to cover it up.
Dude, it's on the way, bro. It's on the way.
I want to see a tracking receipt.
Yeah, that's what they said last night in Pulp.
Yeah.
Right, let's get a couple of these done real quick. Dave Periton. My very first memory in life was when I was 3 years old riding with my dad. I had a little PW50 that I loved and wanted to be just like my older brothers and dad riding on their Suzukis. We had some dirt hills, that's in quotes, near the house where dad built a bunch of rhythm sections and whoops. The back section of the whoops ended with a berm to the right and a barbed wire fence behind it. My dad and brothers were at the top section of the track doing the big jumps while I was doing the small whoops. I sent it a little too hard, ran into the fence, smashing my thumb into the barbed wire. I waved my dad over and told him, "Daddy, my thumb fell off." He said, "No way, take off your glove." So I did, slowly. As soon as it came off, the top of my left thumb plopped over at the joint, only hanging by a bit of skin. My dad's face went white as a sheet. He grabbed me with one arm. I had to screenshot these, so hang tight. Dad went white as a sheet. He grabbed me with one arm while on his bike and set me on the gas tank and pinned it home. I remember being pissed off. We left my bike at the dirt hills, thinking someone was going to steal it with my thumb while my thumb was hanging by a thread. Next thing I remember is waking up the next morning in the hospital. Dad gave me a kaleidoscope and a mini box of corn pops and said, "Let's go to Berthaud." I'm assuming that's the track. Berthaud to watch your brothers race. I was mad he wouldn't let me race with a cast.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one.
That's kind of how I started riding.
Is it
losing your thumb?
Well, no, I didn't get that bad, but yeah, was like 3 or 4. Got the PW50. Dad built some jumps in the yard, whiskey throttled into the fence, and smashed my foot. And then was back riding probably an hour later.
Gerald DePiri.
This is not about you, Scotty.
I know, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just short on time with guests coming up. We can get to all that.
He just keeps talking.
No. All right, Gerald says, I was on my 21 YZ250. My dad was on my 15 KTM 350, and we were training for the local hare scrambles. My bike blows up about 4 miles from the truck. He stops and asks me what's wrong with it. I tell him it blew up. Can you tow me back to the truck? He starts up the KTM and takes off. I thought he was going to come back, but he never did. I pushed my bike all the way back to the truck. He was sitting on the tailgate and asked me what took so long. I was pissed. Then he told me it's good practice for when it blows up at the races. This was last month. I did rebuild it that weekend. Got the overall my class on the YZ250.
That was last month.
That's a pretty great. It's a pretty great dad story. I like that one. We got a few minutes. Yeah. My best memory of riding with this is Johnny. Johnny Nitro Studios. My best memory of riding with my dad would be at Indian Dunes. I was 4 years old, riding my Indian Bambino around the parking lot next to the wash. First, I was introduced to Steve McQueen by my mom as he walked through the parking lot. I didn't really grasp the importance of that at age 4. But the best time was when my dad went out to practice for the day, and I got to sit on his tank as he practiced on the international track in preparation for the race the following day. He rode a Husqvarna 400, and I sat between the seat and the metal tank, holding onto the crossbar. Obviously, I was small enough not to hinder his riding that much because he was racing dudes all around the track. I love flying off those fast and low jumps, especially the ones where you dropped into a corner immediately after. And then passing riders in the sand section, going under the bridge, and that long ride up the starting line hill. I know people thought he was crazy for not only riding with me on his bike, but to race with me on the bike. It was a different time, and besides, I was having fun, although that big bolt between the seat and the tank didn't feel great. Again, I'm going to slide over here. Where did it go? This is awesome. I fell in love with motorcycles, and I never stopped riding. By the way, my dad won the race then the following day, his first race ever, and we continued to go to Indian Dunes with me on the tank. Most of the time, he went out to practice. As I got older, I began to practice with him on the track and Shadow Glen, but I never raced professionally, just had fun riding with my dad. So, still got more, obviously. You guys, just bring back any thoughts from you guys?
Yeah, it made me think of an old dad story.
Okay, go ahead.
We were at a night race, and it was my sister's. She was like 5 or 6. It was her first race. She was on a PW50. She came into a corner. One kid was down, so she tried to move him, but then she went down, and then a kid on a Cobra came in, like basically just like ran over her, and like the bike was like, her bike was laying like on top of her legs. Okay. And me and my dad ran across the track, and my dad, I mean, I know a PW50 is not like the heaviest thing in the world. Yeah. But he grabbed it by the little fender bar frame thing, and he just like lawnmowered it like 7 feet off the track. My dad's not like my dad's not a very big guy. I'm taller than my dad. He was probably like 155, 60 pounds. He was probably like 155, 60 pounds, and that he yoinked that PW50 like 8 feet off the track. And my sister had like bruises, like it looked like a tire. Like she had her little purple bruises, but it was tire tread like on her back. It was, she never raced again. That was it. She was out. She just rode around the pits after that. But yeah, my dad yeeting the PW50 off the track. I'll never forget it.
How about you, TJ? I'm trying to find an email, but
no, I can do the opposite. Like with the kids riding, when Doc was on his PW and he was going around the house, and we had these 2 little humps around the house, just doing circle track basically. And my wife was like, "You need to get him to slow down," because the dew was coming out, and it was all across the grass. And by the time I walked down off the porch to go slow him down, he like went end over end, bounced up in the air, and he landed. The bike landed on him. Yeah. And then both of them bounced up. He landed. The bike landed. He landed on the bike, and they both bounced up and landed. And I run over there. I'm like, "Oh my God, my kid's dead." You know what I mean? Like it was a massive, as fast as a PW could go. I mean, at this time he was racing, and I come running up, and he's just sitting there like shaking, going, "Oh, oh." I'm like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Are you hurt?" He's like, "Yes." I was like, "Where?" He's like, "It hurts everywhere."
That's funny.
Good times.
All right, I can't find the other email right now, and A-Ray just texted and has to cancel. He still had a photo shoot. So, Will Hahn had to cancel. A-Ray had to cancel. So what we'll do is we'll do some more of these stories in that time frame. Yeah. Not a big deal. I want to find this particular story, but can't really find it right now. I need to take Scooper back. A little disorganized now. Things are starting to kind of come unraveled. Let's do one more story. You guys can talk about it, and then we'll get Coupon. But I got to go back to my list. Just talk while I'm looking.
No, we can talk. We can talk about that. Scotty owes me money.
What's he owe you money for? How come you didn't? Where were you this weekend? How come you didn't ride?
I did go ride. I went up to Arkansas.
Yeah, of course he's going to go somewhere not where.
Let's do that real quick. Instead of father-son stuff, we got 2 minutes before we got a Coupon. Okay. Why do you always complain? You used to always try to put these, like, let's go to California as a group. Let's go here as a group. Nobody ever wants to do anything I want to do. And then every time we say, hey, we're going to this track, you go, well, I'm going over here. Well, I'm going over here.
Because just to be frank, the stuff y'all want to do 90% of the time is boring.
So I was going to Johnsonville, where it's
one of the best tracks in the area.
Johnsonville's fun, but
or going to Billadilla,
Billadilla. I went, right.
That's true. You did go.
So
you'd rather at Steve's house right down the road. If there's 20 of us, but you'd rather go ride by yourself.
But I don't ride by myself. I ride with other people. I have other friends than you.
No, you don't.
You go ride at Bone Dry MX.
That was fun. Actually, it was really fun. But this weekend we went to Arkansas, and we took the TW 200s. And we put 100 miles in the trails, loaded down with all of our camping gear, with our saddlebags.
Oh, you've been talking about doing that.
And then we camped overnight. And I think my buddy got into like a bunch of ticks all over him. It was freaking awesome.
Well, I don't know, man. I just feel like you're not really good friends with us because you never want to ride with us anymore. I mean, I know you suck.
But no, y'all just want to do the same old thing all the time. Ride moto, which I love riding moto, but let's do some.
I don't remember getting invited to ride TW200s through the woods.
Yeah, we'll get back to this. It's just a bummer, Scotty, when your friends bitch about not riding with you, but then when you invite them to go ride, they don't go. But we'll get back to it. Our first guest of the night's on the line. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. And Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Tulare and the Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron Segway, and they strive to ship orders within 36 hours. So visit gutsracing.com. Let them know the MotoXpod show sent you. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Yamaha Star Racing, Cooper Webb. What's up, Coop?
What's up, man? How are you guys?
Doing good. Thank you for coming on tonight. I'm going to give you a little heads up. I reached out to Rarick and Filthy, and I needed some Coop stories. I don't know if we can tell these on air, but we might get into some stories at the end of the show. So, go ahead, TJ.
Oh, yeah. Two knuckleheads right there.
Yeah, what's up? What do you got?
Coop, I don't know if you could hear us when you first came on talking about going riding with your buddies and stuff. And we know you probably got a little time on your hands here lately. But, like sometimes riding moto just kind of gets old, right?
I can't say that right now because I'm itching to ride moto. But, I mean, talk to me after 31 races, then it might be different for sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to get these guys to go. Like, we went up in the mountains this weekend with some other friends and rode. We spent 100 miles on the bikes off-road and then camped and did all that stuff. And
that does sound fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah. That sounds unreal.
But these guys just went to go ride moto again, that they did. And Jamie rides moto like 3 times a week. I don't know how he does it.
It's part of my job now, man. We are in Loretta's 25 mode right now.
Oh, yeah. Starts now before the Reddit's 24.
I failed for 24, Coop, so we are in 25 mode as of this week.
You got to get it done before like 2030 when Coop decides to go back.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll be back there soon. So come on, Dark Side. Let's start prepping now.
I am. I prepped all year, and I failed, dude. I failed at Fox, and I failed at Thunder Valley, and I got a lot. I need to come to the farm, man, and ride with you guys and get some pointers.
Yeah, or you need to get on Alpha Dynamics, man. We'll get you right.
Well, yeah, Troll Training failed me. I'm going to blame Troll. All right, let's get into you, man. You're back on the bike. I think you've been back on the bike about a week. How are you feeling? I know you were doing turn track stuff last week. Where are you at?
Yeah, man, it's good. We're, like I said, we're back on the bike. It's still a little early. Doc pretty much told me at 8 weeks I could originally. He's like, hey, 8 weeks, you can get on the bike. So we stretched it a little bit. Went to the doc, got checked up, and he actually was really happy with things, how they look. So got onto the turn track a little earlier than anticipated. So it was good. I mean, like anything, it's still sore. It's, I'm only able to ride for 10 or so minutes before it, gets super sore and fatigued in just a few sessions. So it's, honestly, I kind of forgot how coming back from injuries are. I've been pretty blessed, honestly, to not have too many lately besides like my concussion. So I think I just kind of forgot, when you don't use something and it's in a brace for 5 weeks and you take it out of a brace for a week and you expect it to feel 100%. I guess that's just not realistic. And so, yeah, it's good though. It's nice to be back doing what I can. I'm back still just on turn track this week until this thing's, I feel confident that, hey, I can go into a corner and if I fall over, everything's going to be fine type thing,
Yeah, and I'm sure it's just good, like you say, being out there, being around the boys a little bit and kind of getting the motivation back. Do you have a tentative date or a round that you would like to be at, or do you not want to say that yet?
Yeah, we're going week to week by now. I was really wanting to get back maybe for like Millville or Washougal. But like I said, once I actually rode that first day, I didn't realize how much I, lost with strength and just kind of flexibility and movement and stuff like that. So I think for me, the goal right now is to be back at Dilla. That gives me a little bit more time, obviously, with those 2 breaks. And I think that's the plan right now, and that's what we're shooting for. So yeah, like I said, though, it's good to just be back at the track, be with the boys, riding at the farm, and it was good. While had a good little break with training and doing what I could, and ran and had some running goals and stuff like that. But once you get on the motorcycle, it feels right again, and I'm kind of getting to that point in my career where I really am enjoying riding and enjoying progressing, and I guess I didn't realize how much I missed it until it gets taken away from you, for sure.
That's interesting. I have a question about that later in the interview, but we'll stick with the subject.
Speaking of recovery and getting back to riding, how many times did some kid that's getting ready for Loretta's stuff you in a corner and you're like, I gotta try harder?
Yeah, luckily no one. Not many people are just turn tracks this week. So I was solo. I did ride. Star's got a new guy. Well, I think we're allowed to talk about it, but yes. Colt Davies, and Friday we were turn track together. Just he had a technique day, so it was cool to have somebody to ride with. But yeah, at the moment, I was watching today from my turn track at the farm and watching them boys throw down, and that's where I'd like to be. But like I said, just kind of playing it by ear. Don't want to do anything dumb and get re-injured and be out even longer. So like I said, Doc pretty much said at that 8-week mark, you can't make it any worse, to where 6 to 7 weeks is still susceptible to maybe re-injury. So like I said, it's good to be back on the bike, but we're just getting on it to just kind of go through the motions, don't do anything crazy,
sure.
and get some laps in type thing.
Only moto guys are like, you can't make it worse.
Yeah, right. But I'm sure SMX is part of the plan, right? You got to be ready for that. You want it. That's a lot of money in that thing. So yeah, I got to get some seat time.
Yeah, sure. And that's what I mean. Like I'm all for getting back as soon as I can. And like I said, when I thought in my head when Doc said 6 weeks, I thought, okay, that gives me 2 weeks to get ready, and I can be back at Red Bud or Millville. And like I said, once I hit that first day, I was like, kind of got a reality check of, even though I do feel like I'm pretty damn tough, this thing's got a ways to go still. So, it's been a while. Like I said, I've never done my UCL ligament. So, basically the procedure behind it is they go in there with 2 anchors and, plate it back to the bone, and the thing's just really stiff. And they do that on purpose, to make it as tight as you can so you don't re-injure it, right? So that's the big thing for me, is just the actual stiffness. Like, I'm still not actually able to move my thumb around the bar all the way, if that makes sense, at the bottom. So just little stuff like that where, it's just simply still not safe, right? Like if I came and wrap my hand around, if you hit some of these bumps and stuff like that, things can go bad. So just, building into it for sure, but good to be back. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cooper, when you're coming off of these injuries like this and you're, time off the bike, however it may be, especially with one like this, where your hands on the controls, it really affects it. You obviously you talking about your mindset having to be different, not wanting to just go out and override and cause more problems. Do you ever learn new techniques through that process? Like maybe you're like, or relearn stuff because of the way you have to ride at a slower pace. You kind of pick up some things that maybe you'd kind of overlooked over time going at the full pace and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And especially during Supercross. When I injured it there, it was, I definitely had to change, honestly, the way I gripped, where my elbows were. I didn't actually use the clutch surprisingly much at all, because, if you can think, when your hand's on the bar and you put your fingers out for your clutch, it's actually then stretching, that thumb ligament. So there was a lot of races where I was just fully on the grip and not even using my clutch. So then you're, kind of going through your gearbox a lot more, maybe using, I use first gear a lot more than I ever have in Supercross. And, but it did, especially during the week, I had to then, if you're not using your clutch, rely on that roll speed and, carrying momentum, and, even little stuff too, when I'd go to hit a bump, if I was standing up, it would hurt less than if I was sitting down hitting a bump. So, It did. It actually did really help. And even now coming back, you know, and you watch the races, like I'm a big video guy. So like when I'm watching the races and watching how these guys ride, and especially motocross, you see how much standing, you know, is necessary. That's something that now that I've come back, I'm really focused on. Okay, let me stand as long as I can until the apex of the turn, and then boom, let's try to get our feet on the pegs and just stuff like that. So for sure, it definitely slowed things down a little bit in the sense of learning some new techniques and just kind of little things here and there, and how to ride a little differently to make it work. And I'm sure now, like I said, until full strength and full grip is back, you know, I'm going to have to definitely adapt and rely on my legs and core and kind of that side of the body a lot more than the arm hand direct contact. So yeah, and then like you said, it all works out, and you end up learning from it.
Yeah, cool.
Coop, moving to Yamaha Star Racing this year. Yamaha Motor USA is one of the presenting sponsors of the show, so Blue Crew for sure.
Heck yeah. Yes, sir.
Since you've been on the bike now, back on the Yamaha for a little while, what do you like most about it, and what have been the most significant changes you've made on the bike itself since getting on it? You know, however you started with it. I don't know what form whether you started in stock form or started on Eli's, you know, setting or what. But what are the most significant changes you've made on the Yamaha?
Oh, I think the first part, what I liked the most, was kind of just the suspension chassis kind of combination. Mainly the suspension. I mean, we run an air fork, and like that's what I always ran on 250 days. You know, that's what I just really, really loved. And we went back and forth on KTM with air versus spring, and some of my best years were definitely on that kind of, we call like a hybrid air fork that that I was on at KTM. So for me, getting back on the air fork just felt very comfortable and what I really liked. And the suspension was like a huge thing for me. It was right away really good. And then I do think, like I said, I did spend a lot of time on a Yamaha pre-KTM. Yep. So like when I hopped back on it, even though they're completely different, it just had similar characteristics to, you know, the 2014 bike or the 2016 bike that I was on, or the, you know, and so like you just kind of felt a little bit more at home. At least I did. Mm-hmm. And so those were some positives. I think for me, the one thing we really had to iron out was the engine. It's a super strong engine. Like the stock engine, I actually really enjoyed. But like I said, when I got here, Eli's engine package just didn't quite work for me. So we kind of had to go through the engine stuff and actually make it a little more mellow, a little more rideable for me. And so that was kind of one of the things in the off season. That was where we spent our most time, was just kind of getting an engine package that worked really well for me.
Yeah, that stock engine, like in mapping, or just for a guy like me, to rip your arms out of socket. So I had to have Kiefer like, give me the most mellow map you've got. Let's make this thing as close to a 350 as we can get it.
Yeah, I'm with you. They can be rocket ships, man. Yeah. Like we really don't need any modded out engines, like you just said. Stock is fine, but then you get to places that sometimes you do. But yeah, I'm with you. These 450s now are so crazy fast that, in my opinion, you need something that you can ride hard for, 20 plus 1 or 35 minutes.
Yeah, and then sticking with the Yamaha subject, when you come over to a team like Star, you've got another big dog, top dog on the team, and you've been asked about this plenty of times, but with Eli Tomac, a guy like yourself or a guy like Eli has to have the mentality. Normally, I'm the top guy. You want to be that guy, but you go into this team, you kind of had to accept, hey, there's two of us. Was that an easy mentality to adjust to and say, okay, there is no top guy necessarily, or maybe I'm not the top guy, but I'm going to this team because it's going to give me the best opportunity?
Yeah, I think for me, it honestly didn't matter. A lot of people obviously ask me that same question, but I think it was something where I just wanted to be on the bike and around the group. And they did a great job at keeping things cordial and giving everybody the same opportunity. And I had even coming in, kind of told them and even like had a few chats with Eli where I'm like, hey, dude, I'm pretty, once people get to know me, like I'm pretty easygoing. I'm out of the way. I'm, do my own thing. So I'm not coming in to be a number one. Like you've won these guys their most recent championships and you've won more championships than I have. Like I don't care. Right. And I think that kind of came from like when I was on KTM, I was with Marvin. So it was very similar. And then before that, when I was on Star with Jeremy Martin, it was kind of the same way, right? Where we were both the alphas and winning championships. So it was very similar. So for me, that's kind of just how it's been majority of my career. So it honestly just felt normal, and still does.
I was totally expecting something out of like Cobra Kai, where I walked in there and I was like, "Yo, bro! I mean, I'm here to take your, like that's how they're going to rewrite it if they ever make a movie out of this."
We always hear the stories, and I've asked him about this in like press day interviews. Like, we've heard the stories of you going down the line and sitting next to Eli and being like, "You fucking ready to go?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure he was probably nervous, right? And on the other spectrum, I'm sure he's probably like, damn, this guy's psychopath. Like he could be a cocksucker or something, But no, I think like I said, we quickly were good. And like I said, I've said from the beginning, I've always respected Eli. I've always raced him hard and clean, and have no problems with really any of these guys. So like I'm just putting myself in the best possible situation. I know like for him, a lot of the guys on the team have worked with him for a long time. Like, hey, that's fine. All I need is they give me the attention when I need it, and all is good, But I do think it's a real thing, especially nowadays when there is a lot of A guys and guys that can all win. It gets tough. But I almost look at it opposite. Like I looked at it from the very beginning as like, hey, the last few Supercross seasons up until, Jet, me and Eli have been going head to head and basically swapping championships. Mm-hmm. So I want to be on the same equipment as him, the same opportunity, just the same bike, and see, kind of see what happens. So that's how I kind of looked at it. And like I said, as long as the bike is good, I really don't care.
Sure. Yeah. Cooper Webb tonight brought to you by Guts Racing.
Yeah, I mean, we quickly forget of like the season that you had. Like, coming into it, you probably didn't have as much hype as you've had in the past. And then, you're on the team with Eli. We didn't know how that was going to go. And then people forget the only guy that beat you this year was Jet, who's like people are freaking out about because he's this phenom. So, I mean, I'd say you did pretty good. When obviously the goal is the championship. When you have a year like you did, where you kind of hung in there, barring a thumb injury, who knows what would have happened. Like, you got to like feel pretty good about how it turned out for the year.
No, it was. It really was awesome. I mean, for me, second is, it is a huge accomplishment, but like you said, it's at this stage in my career, it's either championship or bust. So, but when I look in retrospect, like I said, I won, 4 Supercrosses. I think I had 9 or so, 10 podiums, and, I was tied at one point with the red plate, and like you said, I had a thumb injury and honestly hung in there for a long time. So, and we joke all the time, like, hey, I beat Chase and Eli, who were my direct competitors the last few years by, I think it was like over 30 something points. So like, hey, we did a great job, but the problem is you got this new phenom who is unbelievable. So, I think when you look at a retrospect, it's awesome. And like I said, there's going to be things that I think learning them and some of those early rounds, still learning the bike and what works and what didn't. Now hopefully for next year we come in and we're ready to go like we were this year. But I still had pains, right? So I don't even think next year we're going to be even better. So that's where I'm encouraged and super excited for the future and blessed to be able to come into a team and have a great year like I did. Like you said, I feel like I always come in a little bit under talked about, and people do forget that I have won this thing a few times.
Yeah.
But it's always good to come in and be in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, some people even put you in episode 2 of certain pre-race preseason shows. I mean,
jeez.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I remind him.
Yeah.
I don't know who those people are.
Yeah, me neither.
We don't.
Go ahead. I was going to say, those are the real media. We're not, so you got to take us serious.
Yeah. All right. No comment.
This side of the table.
Since we talked a little bit about Jet, and you just talked about the mentality of like, hey, I won a few of these. I want to get your thoughts when there is a guy like a Jet Lawrence, or just how do you deal with? There's so much hype around him. There's so much. That's all the media talks about. And honestly, I mean, look, the guy's on a special level right now. He is special. But a rider like yourself, or even a rider maybe under your level a little bit, has to believe that they can beat him. So how do you go into the weekend and go, I can beat this guy, and even if maybe you can't? Like, not you specifically on Jet, but there are moments.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so how do you...
No, and it's hard. I think, I'm a different breed, I guess. Like, I'm a different character. Like, I never once, even though there was nights where he whole shot at me, I started second or something, and he pulled away and won with his eyes closed. I never let it bother me, honestly. I just look at things over 17. That's how I've always looked at it is, let's play the odds is what I like to kind of do and go, over 17, who is going to beat me? Who can be as consistent as me? Who, like I said, I feel like this year I stepped in the right direction with getting my speed up. I qualified better. My starts were really good this year. My speed was really good. My main event speed was good. My whoops when I was healthy was good. Okay, I get Jet could click off like he did. He won 8 races, and which I think if you would have asked people before the season, hey, is Jet only going to win 8 races? I think most people would have said probably more. I look at things in retrospect and hey, let's look at numbers and statistics and hey, he can go and win 10 races or whatever. But if I'm on the podium every weekend, at some point, that's going to put me in a great position. If I'm in the top 5 every weekend, it's going to put me in a great position. And certain nights when it's my night and maybe, whatever happens, I can beat him. But I think there was certain nights this year where I hung around and, put myself in great positions to straight up win main events and from start to finish win them, So I'm going to have those nights just like he's going to have those nights. But I think he is a once in a generational talent. And as far as the hype and all that, like some people look at it different and they're bummed and they're this and they're that. But I look at it like, dude, I've been there and seen him and I've trained at his compound. Like there was no denying when I saw him there and week in and week out, I've said it in interviews, I knew he would beat me one day. He's that good and he is that special. So like it's tough, he deserves the credit he gets and I'm not mad at it. Like it's something that if I can come in on the spotlight and beat him, then that's great. And even for next year, like I know he's had an amazing year and is going to look to repeat, but like I truly do think I can go beat him next year. So maybe I'm crazy, but that's just how I've always been.
No, I think you're right. Cause I mean, you are that, the old dog, right? We talked about like you hunted down Kenny a couple years ago and like you come on strong at the end, you stay consistent and you don't really ever let up. So I absolutely believe you can. And I hope that guys like yourself and Eli can, because I don't want this to be like the 90s where McGrath just runs away every weekend. He's like, all right, well, who's going to be second? I don't want that. Yeah.
I agree. And I think our sport right now is in a good spot, man. It really is. As dominant as he was and is and has been over his stretch in the 450 class, like you still look at how many different winners we had this year, and how many different guys were on the podium and were in the mix and certain weekends were up there and stuff like that. And I'm with you, especially me being 2-time champ and, wanting to win these championships. I want to win every single race and upset him and get in the way and whatever. But, I think I also am, like he's had a lot of preparation, right? Like he's done the right work. He's very fit. He's very fast. He's on a strong team. So, like I said, he's coming in, I think, more prepared than a lot of maybe rookies in the past have. And at some point it's hard to just keep winning and winning and winning, whether it's, staying healthy or the bike's changing, right? Like I think they're on a brand new bike for next year. There could be some struggles there possibly. So you just kind of look at things like that. And, but at the end of the day, as long as I know I'm going out there giving it 100%, putting myself in a position to win a championship, then that's all I can do, right?
Sure. Did you have any specific moments this season where you were passing him or he was passing you, and we're talking about Jet, and you were like, I'm going to be a little extra aggressive because I want to show, hey, welcome to the big boys. Was there any where that actually went through your head, or was it just normal racing?
There was that one at the beginning. He kind of bumped him off.
Yeah, but I want to know, I'm going to do this intentionally?
No, it wasn't intentional. I feel like people, at least in the summer, and when he went perfect season, like I raced a few of those races, and then at that time in outdoors, I wasn't even, after my concussion, I wasn't even really in the same stratosphere as him, right? And then even at SMX, like I wasn't prepared, I wasn't even close. So, and I noticed in those races, no one, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion, no one raced him hard.
Yep.
I didn't feel like, I feel like for sure. And that's one thing, and especially in his perfect season when he's pulling every hole shot, it's hard to beat a guy like that and leading every lap. But when those scenarios where he did get a bad start or like he was coming through the pack, I just noticed, like maybe people were so, hey, I'm just going to tuck in behind him, that no one really raced him hard. So I think for me, when I saw that, at Anaheim 1 in that heat race, I saw the door open. It was more of, I would have done that to anyone, and I did, because it was for a pass for the lead and for a heat race win, and that's what happened. But I think it might have been more a wake up for him going, oh, wait, people are going to race me hard, and it is Supercross, and there are guys in this class that have had the same success as me type thing, that these guys, are going to race me hard and down the line are probably going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely understand that, because I did that to Scotty the last race we had.
Stop.
I
was gonna say, I think between you and El Hombre, I think you figured that
The
out.
H is silent, man.
El Hombre.
yeah. And that's the thing. You saw, like, even with the Hombre, like, Jed ain't going to take that crap either. He's going to fight back.
Yeah.
And, he's a racer, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's sensational. So you gotta be on your A game. That's for sure.
Yep.
Hey, Coop, we got a YouTube listener question. Austin paid $9.99 to ask you that. I know that Coop is close with young Dax, and Dax was a top 8 to 12 guy at the end of 23 outdoors. Does Coop say anything to Daxton to help keep his confidence up with how the MX season is going so far?
Yeah, I do. I try to help all the boys. It's that's one of the cool things about honestly being here and being at Star is we have a super young group, especially with the 250 boys, and I feel like I've been there. I've been racing for a while, and I feel like I have some good feedback. So I try to help the guys, and we all train and ride together every day. So that's something that I do really enjoy, is trying to help when I can, and just give them, whether it's little tips or kind of like I feel like with Dax right now, it's no secret he is struggling, and I think he can definitely do better than what he's doing, and he's got some stuff going on that not a lot of people kind of know when they just look on paper. But yeah, I've explained to him, like, hey, this kind of rookie slump is normal. It's like, you look down the list of all the guys, at some point they've had kind of a slump or whatever it is, and you're going to get through it and keep your confidence up and keep putting in the work and just trust that, hey, it is going to get better. But yeah, there's a few little things, like we chatted today about some stuff that I think he could maybe work on and get better at. But it is tough, man. It's a competitive sport. It's a competitive class, and I do think as a rookie it is hard, because this is the longest he's ever raced, meaning season and races wise, and you do go from like last year. I think he came in with a lot of prep because he was an amateur and there was really no expectation, and just kind of come in and whatever happens to where in Supercross he had some good rides, and then I think you kind of set that expectation to be there. So when you're not, then you're a lot harder on yourself than you should be, and it can be a domino effect. So I think there's definitely some room for improvement, but that's on him on Saturday to work out with himself.
I like Daxton too, man. He was sort of Mathis when I was in Pulp asked me about like what was my disappointments on like the season. I was like kind of Daxton because I just think so highly of him. I wanted a little more out of him, but anyway.
I was just gonna say, who gives better advice, you or Phil?
Oh, geez.
Oh, me, come on.
Rhetorical question.
99% BS.
Hey, Coop, we've been on here for 30 minutes. How are you on time? I've got a few more things I'd like to get to. But
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
All right, so Motocross of Nations is already starting to get talked about. You're going to come back towards the end of the season. Eli's supposed to come back to the end of the season. And, you guys could be people that are looked at just because of the ability and the time you've had in, and there is a little bit of a popularity contest sometimes in it. What are your thoughts on Motocross of Nations? If you come back and Eli comes back, and let's say you're running top 5 in the last couple rounds, let's just say theoretically, but then you have your teammate who you seem to be very highly on, Justin Cooper, and he's been there the whole season. What are your thoughts on getting picked for Motocross Nations if you come back late and a guy like Justin Cooper who probably deserves the nod?
Yeah, I think I would love to. I would love to be in that category and to be selected. But I do think coming in late isn't truly fair to the guys that have been there and racing the whole time and putting in solid results. I think a lot of the times now it's coming down to scheduling, and at the end of 31 rounds, who actually wants to go and who doesn't, which is unfortunate, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think, obviously if there's guys that maybe say, hey, we're not interested, then I get closer to that list, hopefully. But for the time being, I would have to agree with you. I think a guy like, Justin Cooper would be an unreal option. Last time he did it, he was amazing. He's been, on the podium a few times. He's basically top 5 every moto. A guy like AP who was captain last year and had some solid rides last year. And then, I would just think outside the box, but right now it'd have to be Chase and Deegs, and between probably those two, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, unless Eli or myself come back and absolutely just dominate, I feel like the team would probably already be, as it always is, announced at Unadilla, and they kind of decided honestly pretty soon within these next few weeks. But if my name's in the hat, I'm definitely itching at the opportunity. That's for sure.
Well, if they don't pick you, you could always do Team Puerto Rico, and we could have 2 U.S. teams.
I've always said, why can't we have 2 dominant teams? Why is it got to be like Cade Clayson? I love Cade, but come on, man.
Yeah, we put Cooper and Tomac and
in Puerto Rico.
On Puerto Rico, and
I love it.
I'm game.
Dude, start.
Hey, let's make it happen.
Yeah, Bobby Reagan would have to send his whole team. But I guess, is Motocross of Nations something that's still very important to you? I know there's situations in other years where there's always these factors that play in whether you want to go or can go, but everything being perfect, do you want to go no matter where it is?
100%. I think, like I said, for me, being raced there twice and honestly never winning, we were on the podium second and third both times I went. And for me, I do truly believe it still is the biggest race in the world. Awesome. And the butterflies and the feelings that you get, and honestly the pressure, there's nothing like it. And especially for me, and especially, as I get later in my career, and, there was times, and like I said, there's everyone has a reasoning. I think it is, like I said, it's unfortunate that it is getting tougher because of they're adding races to ours, the date is right when we could have our 3 weeks of off that we only get for the year.
Yeah.
And honestly, just from a racer standpoint, even the funding nowadays, it's unfortunate to like have to pay out of pocket to go race for your country, so those are things. And I don't want to downplay it and be selfish by any means, because I would do all these things if I got the opportunity. But I think that is some of the reasons now of why it isn't what it kind of used to be. And, but that's just where we're at the moment, unfortunately,
But those are all fair points. You're right. You guys should not be having to pay. That should be done there should be, whether it be AMA, put something together. And I know Paul Parabinos has tried to raise money for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, I think everyone tries and they do well, and the manufacturers and everyone do pull together. But like I said, at the end of the day, when we're racing SMX for $1 million and then, two weekends later, we're out of pocket, it's tough sometimes just to go, hey, but like I said, maybe they can work that out a little bit better. And I do think the promoters have been working better at getting the date closer, to the end of our season versus, I remember a long time ago, like it would be like a month after our season. And that was really tough on the guys that did it and us. And like I said, I think for us, it's at the point where Supercross is so important that manufacturers and teams and riders are getting paid, and everything is all about Supercross now. And I do think, unfortunately, MXON has taken a hit from that, but it's still, in my mind, the biggest race of the year. The feelings you get, the people that I've met, the fans, like, when I think of top 5 moments in my racing career, MXON is 2 of the top 3, so there's no price tag on that. I would spend my own money to do that, so.
Love it. Okay. You mentioned a little while ago having the passion back because you had some time, or not really, just finding the love for it again because you had some time off the bike. And I wrote down in my notes, like, how many more years do you feel like you have left? The 450 outdoor championship has eluded you. You've got a 251. Yeah. So I'm sure that's still a checklist that you really want to hit. How many more years do you think today? How many more years do you think you have
He said Loretta's 2030. So I mean,
yeah, but what if he's still top 5 guy in pros? Might as well do that.
Yeah.
Make some money,
I think for me it's tough, right? To put an exact date on it. I think for me, I still feel like I have plenty of competitive years left, and I want to take advantage of those. Especially, these next 2, I really feel like I can be Supercross champ. And like you said, I really want to, I'd love to win a motocross championship, but more importantly, get back to being, a race winner in the outdoors, a podium guy in the outdoors, getting good, solid results there. And I think for me, if I can continue to be a top 5 guy in these series, then I'm going to race.
Awesome.
But when it comes to just being out there to get a paycheck, or if I can't compete to be in the top 5, I think it's, or no on a certain night, hey, I can go win a Supercross or be on the podium a lot, then that's where I think I draw the line.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I still love racing. I still love riding. I love the sport. And I got a newfound appreciation, I think, coming and making the change I did. And I really am. Like, this was the funnest year that I've had probably ever. And, with my family and just like as a team and good results and enjoying the bads. Like, it was just really, really fun. So
that's awesome.
I think for me, it's definitely no time soon. And I'm sure, like I said, even when that day comes, like, I'm a racer. So, I always talk about all the time, I want to be an ambassador, hopefully for Yamaha or one of these manufacturers, and be at Loretta's and be racing, maybe GNCCs, or go race, an overseas race, or just kind of be able to race my dirt bike and compete, but represent sponsors and be around that scene, because I don't think that itch will ever go away, at least for me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Your comp's always been Reed anyway, so Reed did it till he was like, what, 38? So 39? So you gotta at least do that. Yeah.
I know, and that's where like it's tough, because I look at Chad and Brayton and it's like, man, those guys made it look so easy. But like I said, I want to be competitive, and I'm not really like a stat guy as far as like career starts or anything like that. So as long as I can still be competitive, I'll be racing that series. And then if I can't be competitive, then I'll find a new series I can be competitive in.
You say you're not a stat guy, but as competitive as you are, if you start getting close to those stats, it's going to change.
Numbers, yeah.
Yeah, you're going
be a little carrot.
You're going to be like, there's a little carrot on
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do a couple fun ones and we'll let you go. I don't know if this is a fun one or not, because I'm not sure where this came from, but it's a Vital question that somebody sent me. MX guy on Vital said, how do you feel about Romano cutting the track during training motos? I don't even know what that means. I don't know if there's a situation. If he knows something.
What's the username?
MX guy.
MX guy.
Yeah.
I think Romano's pretty good normally, actually.
Was he cutting the track though at some point? Did this happen?
No, that's what I'm trying to think.
Okay.
I think maybe it's some banter, but
maybe.
Is there
Romano's
a track
actually typically pretty good. Oh yeah, I mean,
He said, "Oh yeah."
every 250 on that facility has cut the track at some point, but consistently.
Yeah.
Of all people, I actually give the most crap actually to Dak. He's.
I was about to say it's probably
he finds
Dax.
those low lines, but. Nah, they're all pretty good. They're pretty good with that.
I was going to ask you if you ever, with all the hype and the character, I'm going to say that Hayden plays, if you've ever kind of punked him out, like, yeah, you ain't there yet, boy. Calm down.
We did, man. We honestly butted heads at the beginning.
I meant more in fun, but okay.
Nah, like that, like just racing, riding, and starts and this and that. But then I quickly learned that we're the same person. We're competitive, and we want to win at all costs. And after, like I said, a few of those little runs in, you gain a lot of respect for someone. And now we push each other hard. And same thing. I feel like if there's anything I see or can help him with, I try to, and vice versa for me. He's a great training partner, and really can learn a lot from him. So
nice.
Yeah, all these kids, like I said, they're good kids. They put in the work and can learn from everybody.
Now, speaking of learning, are you going to be practicing starts with Phil?
Sure. He learned how to start from me, I think.
The truth comes out.
He got a hydraulic clutch from us, and now he's whole shot king.
Dude, that hydraulic clutch is so good.
Yeah.
On the I got.
Yeah, I love it. I know everybody's like, I feel like you're either a hydraulic or a cable, and you stick to it. But for me, I'm a hydraulic guy, and once we put that was another thing actually in the off season. Once we put that thing on, it changed a lot for me. So
I went out to Glen Helen in January, and Ulrich and the guys put it on my bike. I did 2 laps, and I came back and was like, "Can I please keep this?" It was so good. All right.
Exactly.
I did reach out to Rarick and Phil, and they were like, "Yeah, we can't give you any stories." So you're safe. But
happens on the boat stays on the boat.
Yeah. So, but for people that don't know, Filthy's one of your really good buddies. Seth Rarick's one of your good buddies, and then your old practice mechanic Austin Kent are all guys that you're pretty tight with. So I want to do F, Marry, Kill with Phil, Rarick, and Austin Kent.
Oh man, you're gonna put me on the spot with this one.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my opinion. You got to F Phil because he'd hate it the worst.
Yeah, I just don't even want to have to think about that. This is strictly from no physical, nothing like that.
Of course.
Yeah, no homo.
I'm not GAY.
Of course.
But
Seth is pretty, though.
I'd probably marry Phil, actually, because he's got the most money out of all of them. So,
okay.
When you get married, you joint account type thing. And,
You'd make marriage
Tough one,
counselor.
man.
You make marriage counselors very happy with you.
I won't make you go.
Kent and I have been friends the least amount of time,
So he's
but I feel like he's such a nice guy to me, and we talk crap, but I hate to say it, I think I'm going to have to kill Kent. Me and Red
Seth
had too many good days together, and people say he looks pretty good.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Seth is a cute guy, man. If you're into that kind of thing.
This show just took a turn.
All right,
The
Coop.
last time we
dark
get Cooper.
side.
Yeah, we're gonna let you go, Coop. I still got more questions I could get to, but we got your
you're
team.
good, dude.
We
You're
got your
good.
teammate Brent Duffe in the line, so we're gonna get to him.
Yeah, nice.
We'll see if
Yeah, give him and A-Ray some crap, man.
Yeah, A-Ray just canceled on me actually. So freaking A-Ray.
Oh,
I know. Will Hahn canceled
what's
on.
he got going? He in and out
He's no,
orders tonight or what?
yeah, he got a double. He said he's at a photo shoot, so I assume something with O'Neal.
Oh,
But we're good.
Hey,
Well,
we have one last guy paid for a question. Wants to know, Hayden has mentioned you as an inspiration for playing mental games. How would you rate his mental game in the 250 kids?
10 out of 10.
it's up there, man.
There you go.
It's, like I said, I think I look back at myself when I was in the 250 class, and I think, fortunately, we're a spitting image. You know, we weren't scared to say what was on our mind, and weren't scared of anybody, and super confident, and could ride the hell out of a dirt bike. So I think it's the best in the game, and even on the pressure side, I think he's been very, very good. And even like I said, more for me this Supercross season. I think a lot of people don't. And he didn't talk about it too much, and he could have. But like his wrist injury, he rode a few days before the first round,
right?
And was competitive as he was. So I don't know many guys that could do that and tell themselves and put themselves in a championship fight after a handful of days on a bike. And then I think you're seeing now this outdoor stint. He's the real deal, same as like you said about Jet. He does have all the hype and all the cameras and this and that, but you got to give credit where credit's due. That's for sure.
I agree. Well, Coop, we kept you a long time, like 45 minutes tonight. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see.
Yeah, no worries, guys.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you come back. You'll be doing Paris Supercross.
Yeah.
So a lot of Cooper Webb coming in the next few months.
And some more announcements coming. So
Okay.
tell all the listeners, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We'll be keeping up. I'm a big fan of yours, and I love having you back on the show. So thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, see
you.
you.
Have a good night.
You too. That's Cooper Webb, brought to you by Guts Racing tonight. That was a lot of fun. We're going to skip over X-Brand Forum check-in and Barnett clutches. We'll come back to the closing, actually, with A-Ray having to cancel. We got plenty of time to get to all that stuff here in a little bit. We're going to get Brent on the show, get him lined up. But, man, Coop, that was a lot of fun with Cooper Webb.
He just kept going, and we kept coming up with questions, and I could have talked to him for another
Dude, I still have a list of questions to get to.
Yeah.
But our next guest is on the line. So tonight, our next guest is going to be brought to you by FXR, which is designed by racers for racers with industry-leading fit, finish, and performance. Progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Used by the Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha team, Mike Brown, Brock Tickle, Chris Kiefer, Benny Bloss, and many more. FXR has core motor roots, so visit fxrracing.com or go to your local dealership to see their complete line. Tonight, FXR brings us from Yamaha Star Racing. He is some kid that's getting pretty good's mechanic, Brent Duffe. What's up, Duffy?
Hey, what's happening, man? It's been definitely a pretty good run so far.
Yeah, this kid, I haven't heard much about him, but
not a lot of hype or anything.
It's crazy. I think
out of nowhere.
You guys must not watch YouTube very often.
Oh yeah, not really, man. I follow motocross, and I know you because you won a championship. You led Christian Craig to a championship, and now you're leading this new rookie kid to a championship. You're something you're doing is just working.
Yeah, you can't leave out Justin Brayton either. We had a bunch of success overseas, 4 in Australia with him, and it was good.
Well, Duffy, it's great to have you on, man. Really appreciate you taking some time for us tonight. No, you're rider, man. There's so much hype around him, but yeah, he's just killing it. What do you think? What do you find that's just so special about the kid? What stands out to you?
he's gritty, man. He hates to lose. A lot of people think because of his fame, now everything's been handed to him his whole life. And I think that's actually kind of worked to his advantage. It's not been handed to him. He's had, everything available as far as resources go. But I mean, that'll only get you so far. You got to earn the rest of it. And he works his butt off.
Yeah, and you got the opportunity. They picked you, as I recall, to be the guy working with them, and it seems to be a really good relationship. What is your bond like as far as at the test track, at the racetrack? What do you feel like your roles are on the line as far as like keeping him motivated? Obviously, keeping his bike ready to go is the number one focus, but you also have to be a little bit of a mentor, maybe, or just the voice inside of his head.
Yeah, it's actually so keeping the bike maintained is that's a job in itself because he is pretty hard on the thing. I think you can tell by the way he rides. But there's a lot to the being a mechanic that I think a lot of people do understand. But the mental game is huge. He's definitely got a lot of it handled, so I don't have to sit there and hype him up. I actually kind of keep him calm, and we review a lot of stuff that he wants to be reminded of, and we set a game plan. So I just kind of help coordinate that game plan. I'm the last person he talks to before the gate drop and the one that communicates to him during the race. So we do have a really good bond. We've done a lot of travel and a lot of racing together. So we click really well.
So I want to shift gears just a little bit and talk to you about like on track stuff and how you guys test and train. Cause it does seem like Hayden's a hell of a hard worker. And I was told, I'm trying to remember who I talked to. It was Max. When I was talking to Max Ansey, he talked about how he would go to the track early and Hayden's already there, and so Hayden's, the program is a tight program. People may have this image of what Hayden Deegan is, but I think behind the scenes, he is all in. And I want to talk about going to Southwick just to get some time up there and get used to the track because everybody or a lot of people were talking about, this is the worst track last year and can he win? He's probably not going to do that well. And he decided, hey, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to get some time in and figure this thing out. And just, talk about going to Southwick and why that happened.
Yeah. While it may have been our, I'll say worst race last year, the second moto was bad. I think we went 4:10. So last year I kind of recall him running Hunter down in the first moto, and then Hunter's bike blew up, and then got fourth, and then he spent a lot of energy catching Hunter. Mm-hmm. The second moto he did fade, but we also forget that he's young. Like he's been on a big bike now. This is his third year on a big bike, so learning setup is huge for him. His dad is really good at seeing what the bike does and translating to us what they talk about when they leave the shop. We've got a really good team of people. You can see the number one plates on the door, like they know what the heck they're doing. So I think just last year wasn't great for us, but it was learning the setup was big, and we spent a lot of off season riding sand, a lot. Like there's a lot of sand down here in Tallahassee, some whooped out trails. There's a Southern Raceway that's got a really good sand track, and we put a lot of effort into it, but nothing compares to Southwick. And, you always hear Star will go the extra mile to win. And, that's what it took was going to Southwick. We knew Hayden wanted to learn the track. We also knew that qualifying is really important there. So like you want to have the track down so that, the locals are always the fastest guys. But, if you can know the track like a local, hell, you might have a shot to qualify first. And that was huge for us. So knowing we could go out lap one of the first qualifier of the day and know the track and not just kind of remember it, like have it fresh in your memory, that paid off huge.
Hell yeah.
So y'all talk about like training and how young he is on the bike as far as just a few years into his big bike stuff. And we've seen riders who have unbelievable talent like Pastrana, who got distracted. You know what I mean? I mean, that's, I guess, be the best way to put it because he was just so much into it. How do you keep someone like him who is so focused and so driven, like you say, focused on racing, like not burning out and stuff?
I don't have to worry about that. I worry about the motorcycle. He's like his dad isn't someone that's, raising someone to be a pro athlete that's never been one himself. He's done it himself. He's doing it with Haley. Brian's got a lot of experience racing, and he still does all types of racing and riding, and they handle that, and they do a hell of a job doing it.
Hey, Brent, we just had Cooper Webb on the show right before you, and we had a lot of people talking about the fact that Hayden's gotten to ride with him. Hayden's gotten to ride with Tomac and Roxon. You being involved in the sport as long as you have, and watching it from the perspective that you do, what of those guys has rubbed off on Hayden that you can noticeably see in his racecraft?
It's a little bit of everything. There's so much to be learned and gained. The STAR program is unbelievable. We have Swanee has a great program. You can see, like I said, the number one place on the door. But if you can expand that and go learn from the best of everyone everywhere, there's so much to that. We study a lot of people, and I think that for Hayden to go out and see that John Tomac is still working so closely with Eli, and then being able to see how Cooper Webb trains during the week, and then talk with Kenny about setting up his bike. And, even the week after we rode at Southwick, we went to North Carolina and rode with Chad Reed. They always want to learn. You can always get better. If you stay doing the same thing over and over, you're still going to get good. But if you want to be the best, just never stop learning.
Yeah. I want to touch on that. You and I talked off air just before the show. We were just visiting, and we were talking about him going and riding with Reed. I think that was at Daxton's place, if I'm not mistaken. What has Hayden, and a lot of kids his age might not really care, right, about a Chad Reed or whatever. Like, oh, those are the old guys. So in visiting with Hayden afterwards, what are some things that he's talked about that he's picked up from a Chad Reed or a Tomac or even riding with Coop?
Yeah, you get a little bit of bike setups and some riding tips, but managing a race day, and your program in general. Being this far into a race season right now, how to manage your training during the week, and it was really cool. Like, Chad was watching Hayden do some starts, and he's like, your technique's different than I would do it, and I'm not going to tell you my technique, but I'll help critique yours, tell you what I'm seeing here and there. So it's nice riding with different guys. They're not going to tell you, hey, do it my way. They'll see the way you ride and say, here's another way. Like, here's how you can improve upon your style. So, Hayden does have his unique send-it style, and it's cool. No one's really trying to change his style, just kind of perfect it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Duff, with the racing and the bikes, and you being his mechanic, how much, like, I know nowadays bikes, y'all aren't tearing your own motors down and all that kind of stuff, but as far as like the setting up and all that kind of stuff, how much are you as I guess you call it a modern moto mechanic have to do with as far as tearing the bikes down besides just on race weekends?
Yeah. So here at Star, we are practice and race mechanics. So
cool.
we've got a crew of engine guys, Georgie and Trevor, they do our engines, and then Jake's our suspension guy. So those are the two parts I literally just get to take off and hand back whenever they need servicing.
Yeah.
So that's real nice. I'm going to be 38 years old this year, so I've been in it for a while. So I've also come from the era of you are doing top ends.
Right.
It's pretty nice being able to be in, where we are today. But, that with that being said too, there's also a little bit more pressure. Like, dude, you aren't doing your engine, so your bike better be perfect. But we do a full rebuild, down to the frame, and clean and inspect everything after every race. Practice bikes are constantly getting upkeep on them. And, we fly out Thursday morning to go to the race. And then we rebuild the bike Sunday after the race, fly home Monday. We ride Tuesday, Wednesday, fly out again Thursday. So we are constantly upkeeping the practice bikes and then also doing our race prep parts during the week. So it's a lot of work, but we are doing everything except engines and suspension, but we build all the wheels and we do it all.
We know some riders are real hard on grips or plastics or seat covers tearing up. What do you have to replace the most that you like compared to some of the other guys when you see somebody as aggressive as Deegan on the bike?
Throttle cables.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, damn, well, he can stretch a throttle cable. Man, he actually isn't bad as far as like tearing up any chassis parts or anything like that. I always feel bad when I give the engines back after a practice engine gets its timed out limit. So yeah, he doesn't ever push anything, to an early expiration, luckily. But he's definitely hard on the bike. He just rides the hell out of it.
Well, speaking of that, clutches is something that a lot of riders go through, and we saw your pit board this weekend. Is that something that normally he's really, really hard on, or is it just because we're in the sand and you're trying to tell him to save it?
Yeah. So in 2023, I've told Hayden this, I commented on it a few times this year. 2023, we were really trying to work on his weaknesses with the bike, his shifting, over revving, and he was burning clutches up a lot last year. I'd have to change a few on race day. And up until Southwick, which is just hard on bikes in general, I could run the same clutch all day long, even when we had a press day.
Wow.
He is really easy on the clutch. And I think that's a testament to how much he's honed his skills in the off season. They've put a lot of emphasis on, riding the bike properly, and he's really done it well. But then, Southwick, when you see those late race charges and, you're plugging the radiators up with sand and then using the clutch a bit more, it's going to get hot. Pretty much every bike would do that. But you put Hayden Deegan on the throttle, it's just going to overheat. So, yeah, I was telling him, adjust the clutch, try to cool this engine down. But, yeah, that was a wild one.
Yeah, it was. Brent Duffe brought to you by FXR tonight. And speaking of pit boards and you putting things on the pit boards, when you're in the mechanics area, there's supposed to be a little bit of pit board etiquette. We saw some video of you and a couple of the mechanics maybe getting a little aggressive. I don't know. It was hard to tell. Just talk about pit board etiquette and if there were any issues recently.
Yeah, well, coming from years in the 450 class, there's older mechanics in there, and it's a lot of etiquette. But we all know each other, and
yeah,
say you're in a tight battle, you say go high, go low, and you split pit board so everyone can see. Well, man, this weekend I'm at the very beginning of the row, and we have timing screens and TV monitors under our tent, so you can watch the TV, watch the lap times, and they're all throughout all these easy ups underneath the tower. So Joe's mechanic was down at the other end, and he would watch the screen at the far end, and he said he would walk down to my end every lap. Well, I never saw him, and I didn't realize until I watched the broadcast that when I threw my pit board out, I covered his. Well, shoot, I had no idea he was there, and the guy lost his temper and smashed my pit board, and it was an honest accident. But I know, but tempers can get high, but I don't get upset in the mechanics area. None of that really ever bothers me. Some mechanics get mad, and I always say, I'm wearing a headset, holding a pit board. Do you think I had anything to do with that? So,
right.
And in this case, yeah, I did kind of block his pit board, but it was very last minute, and I'm telling Hayden adjust clutch, and Biel's mechanics telling him pass for the overall, and this guy's telling him dig. So,
yeah.
I mean, what kind of message did I really block?
That's a good point.
I've held the pit board for my son a bunch, and they don't even look. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, but it was because
Hayden.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
No.
Hayden was looking at this one. That straightaway was really rough. So I was at the very beginning so that I could see his eyes, and he would glance over and look at it. That last lap, none of those guys looked. There was nothing you could tell them that they cared about. They all just wanted to win. I really wanted to see that pit board that lap. Just adjust that clutch, man.
Yeah, that's right. I just found it funny. The three riders are battling on the track, and then you got three mechanics that look like they're battling.
It's heated, man.
It's sort of like we joked about
cross.
WWE. You got the battle inside the ring and the battle outside the ring with the managers. And, so good stuff. All right, I'd be remiss to not bring up the hot topic this week was, a lot of the star bikes didn't make sound, and I don't even know what the hell the purpose of sound testing is in outdoor nationals in America, but I'd like to get your thoughts on it. I'm sure there's things that you're not ready to talk about, maybe don't even know, but anything you can tell us on that situation. And we heard that Hayden's bike wouldn't restart after, I guess, at the end of the race. And I mean, he rode the shit out of it, so who knows? But what can you tell us?
I can tell you that you can go watch Anaheim 1. The bikes have to be, a certain decibel, and then you go next weekend and watch Monster Jam and blow your damn eardrums out. And you go the next weekend and they'll
That's a
put
really
on the
good
same.
point.
They put on the same concert, and you walk out of there, your ears are bleeding again. So I don't know what the heck they're trying to do with all this sound stuff, but it's been around for years. And we have a sound meter at our farm, and we test the heck out of everything. So we do have multiple setups, and we can pass all the time. And there's some discrepancies, but our bikes do pass. It's getting frustrating. It's the funny thing is actually listening to all the people come up with these rumors. They're talking like all these conspiracy theories. I heard I had a switch underneath my fuel tanker somewhere that. Hell.
So it restart.
Anything.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah.
We made that joke right before we got you on, just letting you know.
No, I had somebody message me. I didn't get to watch the races live. I watched them later, and I had somebody message me when the red flag came out. I goes, "Oh, imagine that. Hayden gets a bad start and there's a red flag. Go figure." I was like,
that was planned.
Okay.
Good job, Duff.
Yeah, good job.
Beaumaire threw himself on the ground on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how come they didn't throw it at High Point then?
Right. Yeah, it's just silly stuff. I mean, but people get fired up.
Is the sound thing because Southwick's, were they more strict this weekend because Southwick's in a town?
It's the same.
I know, but
decibel.
This is the first time we've heard about it all year. Was it because the city limits that Southwick's in, or why they're being more tingent about it? I don't know.
I wish we knew the answer to that one. Yeah. Some of the AMA guys are a little bit more, sensitive to checking everything, and I don't know. We all abide by the same rules, but I think some of the teams are, a little more frustrated and trying to, I don't know. They're just trying to start some stuff, I guess.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. And then I listened to a little bit of Pulp last night, and Kiefer was on there and they were talking about it. He's like, the Yamaha does make a lot more noise with where the intake is, and that thing's loud anyway. Mm-hmm. So that could have an effect, but it's just weird that all of them, it's just a weird situation. And I want to get your thoughts on it. We won't touch on it too much.
Yeah. They check it while they're on the track, right?
No, they check it off the track. It would be nice if they were to check it on the track so we could see if, our bikes that all say the same or the same as the other bikes that, get through the sound control in the pits, no problem, but sound very, very loud on the track as well. So.
Well, I know they do, like for Supercross, they do sound tech before, but I know I heard one of the privateers was talking about how they checked it while he was during practice or something like that.
Oh, like they're actually down on the floor?
Yeah. Or no, during practice.
So they won't do it on the track as you're riding, but they'll pull you afterwards and check you immediately as you come off the track.
I was thinking that during practice they were doing it as the guys were going by or something.
Yeah, that would be nice. So then we could, but they're so dang secretive too. The AMA won't, they won't tell anyone what what every bike is. So you don't really know who's so loud, who's at the limit, who's under the limit. So, a little transparency would be nice so that then we could all know who's really playing by the rules and if anyone's getting any favoritism. So little transparency would be nice.
Oh, Brent, I got a little two-parter for you. So the first part is, did you see the scrub?
Dude, oh my God. I didn't know about it. Like, we were underneath the tent after the race, and he's like, dude, I did a scrub right past the kitchen. I saw his rear wheel, my goggles. I'm like, what jump was that?
Yeah.
There's jumps? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
It was nasty. I mean, I guess, did he talk about it? Did he just kind of break loose when he went to scrub, or did he?
He didn't tell me any details of it, but man, that was cool. That was
Bro,
When you saw it afterwards, you're like, oh yeah, that he did that.
that could have been a season ender. Like
Yeah.
if that was me, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still in Southwick
Scrape
in the
me off the
hospital
sand, yeah.
asleep. Crazy.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things. He just does it in the moment. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's strong. He just muscled it back.
Dude, I was looking at his Instagram today, and there were some photos with his shirt off. And I was like, that dude's pretty thick. For I didn't realize he was that thick.
He's jacked though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm
Oh.
talking about. Like he's yoked for his size.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's strong.
Yeah.
And then the second part is when, that was obviously after the restart. So when they have a scenario like that, were you already over by the mechanics area and had to go back? And, what's some of the things that run through your mind when you have that kind of process you have to go through?
Gas.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
but-
So I just got back to I just got to the tower and then instantly red flag. So I was one of the first mechanics back over there, and so Hayden rolled up and we just kept him calm. We're like, hey, let me just top you up with gas real quick, and we carry fuel bottles, and I had enough to top him back up again. And basically the big thing was like stay in the zone, like don't get like relax, just stay in it, get your breath, here, have a drink of water, and he was locked in at that point, so we didn't really have to talk about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're about to go get the scrub renamed after you. You're good.
My biggest stress, whatever, be, God damn it, I got to latch that stupid whole shot device again. Everybody's going to see me miss because I miss every time. That'd be me. I couldn't be a mechanic for that. I hate setting the whole shot device.
We've got it down really well. Like,
I know.
He's a strong kid. He stands on both pegs, and we don't. Some guys are 1, 2, 3. We just go on one. He stands on the pegs, throws it forward, and I rip it down. And first time, if I ever miss it, it's on me. So we got that. But Supercross to outdoors, it's a little different. As soon as you go to the outdoors, you can lock those things almost by yourselves.
All right. Let's talk about this championship that, we still got a ways to go. We're not even quite halfway. But it's looking pretty good. So we talked about your success, win the Supercross championship with Christian. Where would this championship rank for you, getting a national title? Have you allowed yourself to think about it?
No, not really.
Okay.
Thinking about it yet. I was chatting today, we're definitely in a really good spot right now. And after the first moto at Red Bud this weekend, that is going to be halfway through the motocross series. So, definitely in a good spot. But obviously you put the red plates on, you think about championship leader at that point, but you don't think that far ahead. Hayden, I don't think was going to think, all right, I'm in conservative mode. Like he's just going to go full send to the end. But yeah, it would rank pretty high up there.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool one. Winning that one with Christian Craig was really cool. I think he won 6 races that year, and that was 2022 West Coast 250. And that was being my first American Supercross title. That's my most memorable one. And we got second with Hayden in Supercross 23, second this year. So definitely being up here in towards the top of the championship or at the top isn't an unfamiliar feeling, but it's a comfortable feeling now. So I don't carry the nervousness. It's just kind of business as usual.
Yeah, you're used to it now. You're jaded, Duff.
No, it's pretty nice. Not being new to this because with Christian it was like you see a scratch on a part and you're like, I got to throw that away and grab a new one. I can't risk it. It's a nice feeling to be this comfortable.
Awesome.
Duff, we had a listener question. Did you and the team expect to be this dominant, or have you surpassed even your own expectations by winning 4 out of 5 races and having a big championship points lead? Also, do you get bonuses for winning?
I don't know about expected to be this dominant, but for sure expected to be in the fight. Last year with his rookie season, I know it's talked about all the time, but that was a learning year for Hayden. So it was really cool to see him learn all year long. And the question was, is he going to apply it this year? But you could tell in Supercross, all right, he's leveled up now. So yeah, definitely expect him to be up here contending for the championship, but to have this big of a lead, he's definitely surpassed my expectations. But when I really sit back and take a look at it, the kid has worked for it. Like, he's worked so hard and he's improved in all areas. I wish for all the work we put in Supercross, I wish we had 13 big whoops at every Supercross, big, ruddy, nasty whoops, because may have been a different story because he put in a lot of work in his weak spots.
And you didn't answer. What kind of bonuses you get?
He ignored it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, do you get win bonuses and championship bonuses?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. We have another listener question, and you kind of answered it a little bit, but maybe you have a different answer. It says, what's Duff's most memorable race as a mechanic? Is it with Brayton, Craig, or Hayden?
Memorable race. I can't really kick a good one out of the top of my head. It was cool watching, even though, so in 2018, JB was Moto Concepts. I was his race guy in 17, practice guy in 2018. But I was standing there trackside at Daytona when Brayton won it.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was a really, really cool one. I remember Hayden's first Supercross podium was there last year. Hayden's first Supercross win this year was awesome. Watching him do that little ghost ride at Dallas.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot of really cool races. JB winning a championship in Australia when in pure mud, picked his bike up smoking on the final lap and in Queensland and barely finished the race and won the championship. And then, the bike locked up at the podium, so we never got to go back and rev it. So, a lot of good racing.
Do you like all those overseas races? Like, is it? I'm sure it's a lot more hassle. But is it better than just week in, week out, just going to the same tracks you've been to a million times?
Yeah, I mean, you get into a routine going to all these every weekend races, and it's nice when you're in the week in, week out flow. It's definitely a lot of work and it's definitely tiring. But one thing I really enjoyed was when Brayden and I would go to Australia. We'd get to spend 3 months at a time there. And then we'd go to Europe and race all over the place there. And when you're overseas, people are excited to see you. They cater to you a lot and really make sure you get to experience their culture. I really, really enjoy going overseas.
Oh, that's cool.
I think we might get another opportunity this year if Hayden keeps sending it like he is.
That's what I was about to say. I said, if we asked that same question about his favorite race in about 5 months, it might be a little different because I feel like there's a pretty good chance that you guys will be hitting MXDN for us.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the best guy right now. So I would assume that offer, the invitation will come soon. That'd be really cool. That'd be awesome to be a part of it. I was at Redbud in 2022 when USA won it, and we had a bunch of star bikes with Tomac and Webb and Tomac and Justin Cooper. So that was really cool. I was there, a part of it all, and I'd like to be building the bike that wins one of them though.
Cooper was on earlier, and I was trying to convince him if he doesn't get picked, he should be the captain for Team Puerto Rico, so we could really, as Americans, dominate.
Yeah, we were saying Coop and Eli for Team Puerto Rico, and then Chase, Cooper, Webb, and Eli, and then Chase, Justin Cooper, Hayden for America.
Yeah, we just need a 250.
We might go 1-2.
Exactly.
I mean, USA's got plenty of championships. Puerto Rico don't. We can do that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to have 6 Americans standing up on the podium.
I think we got to have one Puerto Rican, maybe, or I think.
No, you don't have to have a passport to go there, so you're technically Puerto Rican.
We'll just pencil in a mustache on Webb. And then
all right, just a couple more for you, Duff, before we let you go. The team, Yamaha Star Racing, like we talked about Cooper, Webb, and of course your guy Hayden and all the other guys, Daxon, but a lot of characters. Eli, there's some egos because of championships won. What's it like just being in that group of guys? I mean, I know Eli's not there all the time, but just being in that group of guys, just kind of talk about what that environment feels like.
It's motivating, very motivating. So
that's a good way.
It's cool. When I'm in my work day, I'm looking directly across at Alex Campbell, and he's we've won championships with Dylan Ferrandis. So lots of number ones over there. And, now Alex is working with Webb. And then I look a little bit left and you've got Jelly. And he's got Tomac Spike sitting over there. Great guy to learn from. And directly to my left, Austin Kent. He's working with Max Amsey. He's won races with Daggett. And he came to this team with Cooper Webb. So I'm surrounded by really good mechanics. And as far as the riders go too, there's tons of championship level guys. So you just want to perform. You want to be your best. And it's nice when you're not competing to be the best because you don't need to be, because you're just surrounded with top level guys.
That's a great answer, Duff. We're going to wrap this thing up. Last thing I'm going to maybe embarrass you a little bit. You've been in this industry a long time. Your popularity, though, as a mechanic, as a person, as a character, has grown drastically working with Hayden. I bet your social numbers are triple what they were. And being a single guy, as far as I know, how's the love life going when you're on the road? Can you talk about it?
I mean, yeah, I've definitely got a lot of popularity. I have. Yeah, Hayden has made me famous, so I thank him for that. And still single, but life is good.
Okay,
there you go.
We'll take that.
I saw you on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, you're that guy. Well, have fun if you do go to Europe for MXDN. Swipe right.
Oh wait, I do have one. That kind of made me think of.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've been hearing a lot of talk about possibly getting one of those Netflix shows like Drive to Survive and stuff like that.
Yep.
Is being on the side of things that you are and the relationship that you have with Hayden. Have you heard any rumors of anything like that? What do you think of doing that, or anything kind of how that would work?
No, I haven't heard any. I'd heard stuff about that maybe a year ago, and that would be awesome. I think it'd be really, really cool for people to, to be able to see in depth inside what we do. But also, I think Hayden's YouTube channel does a really good job of that. I commend them for really opening up and letting people see their everyday lives, and it's actually pretty cool for everyone that wants to watch the every race recap video. Like you can watch this kid's progression from when he was a kid to where he's at right now. And they don't really hide much. It's really cool. And then at the races, we've got Yamaha behind the gate series.
Yeah.
Oh man, they do a great job too. So there's definitely a lot of footage and a lot of stuff documented. And it's pretty cool to have all these media sources where I can go watch a recap of everything we're doing, and it'll always be there.
100%. Duff, thanks for your time tonight, man. I know it's a little late on the East Coast, so thanks for coming on and talking to us. And it's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, I like when you bring me on. It's nice. When am I going to see you again? What races are you coming to?
Hang on, TJ. It doesn't look like I'll be going anymore because Lewis is our main guy. He does all the races for us. So I don't think I'll be at anymore other than maybe some of the SMX ones. But unfortunately, I probably won't be at any.
Oh, dang. We'll have to plan a Nashville trip sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to come visit. My girlfriend would love to go back to Nashville. We just got a question. Is the paid question? We got another paid question real quick. It says, tell Duff that Hayden is like if RC and J-Law had a love child. Also, if Hayden wins the championship, who's keeping the bike, him or Hayden? So that'd be
Hayden.
You. Yeah.
Yeah. When Hayden won the SMX championship, he's got a bike in his house now. So
that's cool.
Oh, well, then you get the next one then.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I would like, either way, I would like to build another championship bike at some point this year. So, things are looking good.
Yeah, I think as long as he is smart, and, there could always be the catastrophe, but as long as everything goes smooth, and he's looking good, man. He's going to be hard to beat, and the kid's got a bright future. So I hope you get to go along for the ride for the whole thing.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, thanks for having me on. You guys have a good rest of the night.
You too, buddy. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. That's Brent Duffe, one of my favorite people in the pits. Duff and I have got to hang out quite a few times at different races, going out, kind of hanging out the bars and just having a few drinks. And
isn't he like into the same kind of music you and what's his name are? Like,
I don't think he's a metalhead. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I know there's you and
Jericho, right?
Jericho
I thought
is,
he was
and
one
then,
too.
like Rarick is, and a few of those go. No, Duff, I don't think so big. Not as far as I know. He's great people. So, okay, I I guess we need to get back into some segments.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Scotty, you're having to do a little extra work tonight by jumping out of order with our.
We're already in the forum check-in, so we're good to go.
All right. Well, wow, look at that. Look at that. What is the X-Brand forum check-in tonight? Do you know?
Oh, don't be smart ass.
No, I'm just asking because I don't remember.
How would I know?
Yeah, we'll get into
Where's the script? Yeah, I didn't get the script. I didn't get the script sent in before the show.
Right.
Hey,
all right.
one thing that Duff kind of, it's pretty obvious, but that I maybe kind of rethink about it, where he was talking about how you can look at Hayden's career pretty much from like 50s and watch it all the way up, and how they didn't hide much, and like it really is true. It's cool how that is, and if you kind of look around, he really revolutionized the sport in that way, and especially as the accolades grow. The hype's crazier because like now these kids that are going to Loretta's, like there's not one of them that's not video documenting every single thing that they do. And like, I mean, it's like, every RC changed the game because of the workout, and Stu changed the game because of style, and but so on and so on. And then Hayden's kind of doing it again with the fact that the entertainment side of it. Yeah, it's really cool to see. So that was a good point.
All right, X-Brand forum check-in. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, National Hare and Hound champion Dalton Shuri, AMA National Enduro champion Grant Baylor, and also Lyndon Snodgrass and motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Noren, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin, and many more. Visit EKSbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X-Brand, distributed through WPS. Okay, I've got a couple options here for you guys. Let me pull this open. So the two check-ins that we can choose between are titled either AC in the house or make qualifying great again. You guys vote quickly.
AC thing's been talked about enough.
Yeah, make qualifying great again.
That's what I was going to go with.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Are you a Knight of Ren from the Acolyte?
Yes.
Hey, there you go.
Yep.
It's dumb.
Yeah, they were. I
love
said
Star
Dark
Wars. I'm a nerd, but that's like kind of a little.
Yeah,
that's deep.
That's a little farther. What I know what he's talking about, which is kind of sad.
The Acolyte, yeah.
I know what the Knights of Ren are too, a little bit. Like, but yeah,
from the show. That's the only reason why.
There's more.
A listener asked that, and then
I saw it. Yeah, a glance.
Okay, he asked that, and then I said Dark's not in the chat, and I don't know how to answer that. And then he called me Scott Dumpson.
I love that. That's like a dad joke.
So,
what's up, Scott Dumpson?
Yeah, you got me.
That's good.
So I figured I'd
give
ask.
That guy $10. Give that the $10
it's been raking in tonight. We're almost at like a smooth $60
we
tonight.
Set up
almost
like
$70.
You could have gotten a large pizza.
Yeah, we need to set up some way that money files into our account.
Right? I mean,
jeez.
Yeah, I know we get the pizza, but
go ahead and read. Let's go on. Let's get moving.
Are you ready to go already?
Short show.
Qualifying.
Dude, we still got so much to do.
I know, and y'all won't shut up.
We're only 2 hours in.
I've never seen some people get so mad that a talk show talks.
Okay. Make qualifying great again, posted by Raw Doggin. And Raw Doggin says, I don't post much unless I'm trying to sell something. We'll skip over that. In my opinion, there's two issues with qualifying. I had a thought last Saturday while watching Race Day Live, the show while Weeds and James make it and taming sucks. I hope you guys are listening because you're going to have to talk about this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's two issues. First, the qualifying process is dumb. Is this TJ? We saw Jet pull off the second one because the track was beat up and much slower, making it pointless for him to continue. Lots of risk with no benefit, it seems. Secondly, the broadcast is horrible for outdoors because of the format. I have an idea to fix both. On most of the tracks, it seems like the second qualifier is a snooze fest, and dudes are just looking for lines, setting up their bike for the moto, etc. Very rarely in outdoors, especially in the broadcast, do we see a guy go on the top of the board and bring some excitement. Skip ahead. My idea, make the second qualifier count also. Combine both sessions and make the average of the sessions to be the overall seating.
Oh,
I've thought that before.
I'm sure you have, Scotty.
I've said it on the show before. You can look at it back.
Pull up the archives.
Right, I'll find it. I will.
I'm going to drag this show out to 5 hours tonight. We're doing a pulp show tonight.
I will walk out.
You will not get paid.
Yes, it would be the first time.
He said you would. I actually have. I've been the only person to ever walk out on the MotoXpod. Oh, sorry.
This way, well, I don't know. Jeremy stuck in when he was dying from his what did he have? An allergic reaction? He was like dying here.
Oh yeah,
he should have walked
he
out.
should have. Yeah,
Poor Jeremy.
Yeah,
This
that was
way,
rough.
both sessions will count toward the overall placement. Riders will need to do well in both sessions. It would make 250B group session one's weight not as heavy if they go back on the track after 450. Blah blah blah. This would make for a better show. I thought of a con to this idea, and the only thing I can think of is one of the guys had a bad crash, the bike failure during one of the two sessions. But then there's always the consolation race. Something has to change because Peacock Race Day Live Show is whack for outdoors. Okay, agree or suggestions?
Agree.
I like the idea.
I've always thought of having the qualified, like what's the point of having two qualifiers if you're just going to take one where the track's better condition. And Supercross too, average them.
Supercross, sometimes the second practice is better.
And I
know that for a fact because watching it.
Well, that's why average.
I do like the idea.
There's too much variance.
If they're going to have to be out there twice, I do like the idea of like averaging. I like it.
And also, it wouldn't account for Supercross, but in outdoors, they used to, it wasn't even that long ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, where when you qualified, that was your gate position for both motos.
I don't think.
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah.
I don't think they have it for the outdoors a consi race where you make it in.
Yeah, they do.
They?
Yeah,
there's like an LCQ.
They take 36, and then they have an LCQ for the last 4.
Okay.
I mean, your son's been in it multiple times.
But in Supercross, they don't do that. In Supercross, it is straight off your qualifying, so that wouldn't work for Supercross.
I said it wouldn't work for Supercross because there's not two motos.
Oh my God, are you guys going to argue?
Yeah.
I like the size idea, though. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I do.
It would make it a little more exciting.
But if it's a good idea, the AMA won't do it.
I'm just kind of looking through but anyway, okay. So there's a few responses to that. But
as far as the qualifying broadcast, I mean, I don't know really much more they could do. I mean, they recapped last week's race.
you don't have to watch Race Day Live. Right, I mean, you can go outside and do your yard work, bro.
Yeah,
or you can. Sit
I just
there and
don't
watch
see like what else would they do? They have. I mean, they talk like with a couple of the hot topics from the week before, whatever the hot story. They talk about the guys riding. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know what else you could change.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
what about giving points for qualifying like the MXGP do?
I don't like it.
Okay.
No.
I don't like it.
But theirs is a race. It's a little different.
if they're gonna give points, then they have to make it a race.
Gotcha.
But I don't like it.
It'd be cool.
I mean,
especially on a 1 day format.
If it was points for, I don't know how deep do those MXGP qualifying payout points? It's like
10.
It's just the top 10, right?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure.
First place
Lewis,
gets
if
10
you're
and
listening,
then it goes
if you're
down.
actually listening, maybe you can answer that.
Are you saying like what place it goes to?
Yeah, 10th, I think.
Oh, by the way, somebody didn't mention, Vital MX has a fantasy game, vitalmx.com.
I got you.
You going to play the little thing? But for listeners, if you like playing fantasy, go to vitalmx.com. You can sign up for our fantasy game for free. There is a MotoXpod show league, so it's a different format than some of the other games, and it's kind of cool. So please join. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, anything that you want to get involved with these segments for the show, our email is motoxpodshow@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Okay, Barnett clutches, clutch performance of the week. With 75 years of experience behind them, Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials exclusive to Barnett for maximum performance and durability. You can get 10% off with promo code VitalMX. That's all caps at barnettclutches.com and feel the Barnett difference. So I'll give you mine real quick. My Barnett clutch performance of the week. I mentioned Joe earlier. I feel like that finish was a clutch performance considering he started 28th in Moto2, finished 9th. Then went out and won. Hell of a ride. That's clutch. And I also put Moto2 for Chase Sexton. I just don't know how else you could see that as not being a clutch performance. Amazing ride.
Yeah.
You got anything, TJ?
Mine is something a little more personal. My buddy who he's learning to ride as we do this TW stuff. And he rode really well on the trails. It blew my mind how well he rode, and he's been riding for 2 months. And some of these trails got way harder than what I expected. So, that would be my buddy Tommy.
I like it. Good job, Tommy.
Doesn't watch the show. Nobody knows him.
Well,
but
is that the guy that came to the race?
Yes.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
How about you? You got a clutch performance?
Sure.
I mean, if you don't, that's fine. It's okay. We can move on.
I would say clutch performance.
Stealing my handguards.
Yeah, that was a pretty clutch move. I'll go with Hayden.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean this is supposed to be the one race.
Okay. Good point.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
One race he wasn't supposed to do, and he clutched up and made it happen.
Yeah. So
Even had a pit board.
I did
about
want to ask Duff this.
Well, late.
I know, but he's pretty much done everything he needs to do. He's got this championship like well in his grasp. He's got a great points lead.
Yeah.
His worst finish is second, but he's had kind of a streak of where he hasn't been winning these second motos. I wonder if he's looking at it holistically, like, yeah, I'm still winning the overalls, is okay, or if there's like a little bit of a chip on his shoulder that.
I think he wants to win them. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so too. But I mean, he still seemed pretty happy with this last one. What do you? We're losing TJ's attention span.
Yeah,
Moving on.
Yeah, it looks bad on video.
Yeah.
There was something else I was about to say from what you just mentioned, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, TJ started throwing stuff and
Yeah, he
threw
distracted
everything
me.
off.
He's a loser. All right, let's do the T-Bolt USA Top 5 then. If you are a pit bike enthusiast
Yeah.
and love shredding around on a CR 110, a KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. T-Bolt USA is a pit bike supply site that is everything you need for your pit bike, from BBR handlebars to D&M shocks, and even full bikes from YCF and Pitster Pro bikes. T-Bolt USA has it. They even have stuff for the Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. I said this last time, like, TJ, you weren't here, but I'll get friends of mine from high school or whatever that know I ride. I'm like, hey, my kid has this bike. You know where I can get it fixed or I can get parts? And they'll send me a picture. I'm like, dude, I don't even know what that is. It's
and then T-Bolt has like performance parts for those bikes. That's what's actually cooler. So you can buy those cheaper pit bikes that you can just flog to death and then buy the parts. And we're doing a top 5 with T-Bolt, and they're definitely not going to be on the list because I don't know if they've ever gone up on their prices. They've been I love those guys over there. So
well, yeah. And Vince over at T-Bolt had told me that they have a lot of, like they'll find parts off other bikes. They know a lot of parts off American-made bikes that will work, so they can help you out with that kind of stuff if you need that will work for those type of bikes. I'm so disorganized today because some of the stuff from last week. Vince sent. Oh, we did the top 5 earlier. We did his. It wasn't actually top 5. I used it as highs and lows. That's why I can't find it.
There you go.
Okay, so this week's T-Bolt USA top 5 are things that are overpriced.
Everything.
Anybody got a guess who suggested this topic? TJ.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, though, just so you know, next week is going to be top 5 worst gifts. This is going to be worst gifts you've ever given somebody or that you've received.
I give great gifts.
So top 5, if you want to get involved and send us your top 5 worst gifts or the topic.
I don't want to do that because that's mean.
But nobody
you could do the worst gifts you've given. You say, oh man, I thought this was going to be good and didn't work.
Oh, I got a good one for that.
But I also, just let me finish this little
go ahead.
commercial.
Sure, I guess.
If you want to send your T-Bolt top 5s for next week, or maybe after watching the race this weekend at Redbud, you go, oh, that's a clutch performance. You can send that to us at MotoXpod@gmail.com. And then next week on the show, we'll actually read it. Yeah. But if you send it to me after the show, I'll get emails tonight for the top 5 for the most overpriced thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, we already did it.
We already did it, yeah. So for the next week.
Anyway.
So next week.
TJ's list, everything but Wendy's.
Yeah, next week is the worst gifts. You can say worst gifts that you received or worst gifts you've given, but Scotty probably will only do worst gifts he's given because he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. What are your, TJ, top person. 5 or 20?
Yeah, everything but Wendy's.
Things.
Everything but a biggie bag.
I actually put some thought into this. And
I bet you did. I feel like you already had a list in your head anyway.
That's what I was going to say. So what I did was I asked family members and some other friends what was on their list. So because mine would just go on forever.
Yeah.
And all of these I absolutely agree with. From Doc, he said race fuel.
Okay.
We're talking about the cheap T4 is $100 for 5 gallons.
That's nuts.
That's ridiculous.
$20 a gallon.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's soft drinks and snacks are on the list because they've just gone up. You can't buy a candy bar for less than like $3.
You go get.
You're right.
It's retarded.
It's crazy.
Dollar store.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Yep. Sorry. My wife said dollar stores because nothing's $1 in a dollar store anymore. You know what I mean?
Unless you go to the ones that are like the ones that are called everything's
Dollar
$1.
Tree, but they're $1.25.
They're $1.25. They've gone up. $1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never go to the store, so.
Hey, that place actually slaps. Like,
can't you sue for like false advertisement if the sign literally says everything is
$1? It's got like a little it's got like a little dollar greater sign thing on it now. They changed the logo.
Yeah.
What a-holes?
I think my mom said was shipping has got too high.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a recession. Everything's high.
Bill.
Yeah. Hey, if you'd done it 2 years ago, you wouldn't have had this problem.
They got lost in the mail.
I had two more real
Well,
quick.
you did it anyways, right?
The shoes are too expensive. Buying a good pair of shoes should not cost like $150.
They were $100 in the 80s.
But Dad didn't buy expensive shoes. You buy nice shoes. You could buy some nice shoes back, years ago for like $40, $50. Trust me.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Now it's $150.
Well, we also make twice as much as we used to make back then.
And day laborers are too expensive.
Scotty, you got a list?
You know, the guys that are like in front of like Home Depot and you need them to help you out. Have you talked to them lately?
No, I've never done that really, so I don't have any idea.
So expensive. They used to be like $20.
You know why?
I don't care.
Because
I don't care.
Because a value meal and a candy bar is so expensive.
Well, they should eat better and maybe buy
supply and demand, dude. Yeah.
Scotty, let's
I
go.
mean, apart from everything, like everything's like way too expensive.
Well, what I told everybody was real quick was I know everything's more expensive, but what is exorbitant? What do you think has gone over?
Pistachios and beef jerky.
Wow, he was specific.
Dude, the beef jerky, you're right.
It's
But
like
hasn't
$15.
jerky always been
Yeah,
insane,
but
though?
I mean, I feel like you could get a good bag for like $4 or $5 a couple years ago. Now it's like $14.
You could buy like the foot-long Slim Jims for like 75 cents,
Those
and
are
now they're like
disgusting.
$2.
Yeah, those. Yeah, so stuff like that.
It's not even jerky.
Sporting event concessions, just stuff just stuff like that. Houses, like can't even. I mean, y'all are kind of good, but I'm at that point where I'm trying to kind of start a family and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
It's too late.
It's insane to look at like. I mean, I don't have great credit right now. I'm working on that, but you like look at like what the mortgage rates and stuff are. It's like, I guess I'm renting for a while. Yeah.
Can I report him owing me money?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to eventually just give you those handguards back, and then I'll need them.
Yeah.
I've only used them once. But anyways, motocross gear and accessories and stuff like $600. You clown me for not having good boots, but for not matching boots, but it's like $600 for. I don't have $600 pair of boots, especially when I have some that work.
There's boots that are a couple $100, man.
Yeah, and I have
Good
them,
boots,
and
brand new.
I have them that I've had for 3 or 4 years, and they're still great.
Okay.
Yeah. And batteries.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I didn't think about that.
All batteries.
all.
Ridiculous lately.
I remember it used to be okay, and then like you could get a car battery for like $109, $105,
For
and now
a good battery.
for a good battery, and then now it's like $175, $200.
Yeah, with that Walmart.
An Optima is at like $250 or something like that. For Jesus, I just bought I'm excited because it's a firepower, and I know that they're good batteries and stuff, but. Yeah, and it was on sale, and I just spent $140 on a firepower battery for my dirt bike. Yeah,
crazy.
It's lithium, so I get it, but yeah, that's my top 5.
All right. I said fuel in general. Fuel.
I don't think feels that high.
I thought about that, but we're kind of lucky where we are.
Yeah.
Where we
Maybe
are, it's
other
not bad,
places.
but when I look around, and I was out in California for a while, I was like, "This is stupid."
I mean,
Diesel was $2.90 the other
a lot
day.
of our abroad listeners. I paid $2.78 in a gallon today to fill my car up. So
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of people,
actually pretty good.
A lot of people are not gonna want to hear that. So
All right. Well, I put food, dirt bikes, entry fees, concert tickets, insurance,
I think it's more than 5.
and international shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, insurance is a good one though. Like it's nuts. Like
It's stupid.
for something you're telling me don't get
And
me
then when
started.
you
I'll
need
go-
it, the price goes up.
Yeah. Then you use it, and then they cost you. They charge you for it.
Yeah. Like I didn't just give you $500,000 over
Dude,
the last couple of years.
a couple years ago, I got into a fender bender in my truck.
What the hell is wrong with my air conditioner?
No, it's hot.
Feels so good.
Got into a fender bender. No accident report. No injuries. No hospital bills. Nothing. Just the guy had to replace his rear bumper.
Yep.
They went to. I was paying like $200 something for insurance. A company named Smashmo. The next month when that policy ended and the next 6 months started, they were going to charge me almost $700 a month because of that one
I
accident.
think I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah. They got canceled
messed
pretty
up.
quick.
That's messed up. All right.
So yeah.
Wanna move on?
Yeah. I went down that rabbit hole. I'm sorry.
Good. Evan's Coolant emails. Evans waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Ampro Factory Yamaha, and lots of other teams, regardless of sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. Okay.
Hey, the Lawrences are going to do some of that Oz stuff. You can send their socks to give them a table. I'm sure that'd be on the top list of their priorities.
I will. I'll text Hunter and see if he'll do that for me. Okay, first
I want
email.
to try some of that Evans. I need to buy some.
First email. This guy says, this is from Mercantile Clothing Company. In the second 250 moto, from gate drop to checkers, the commentators, Weege, Stu, and AC, said Deegan's name 125 times. I counted. No BS. Check the fantasy chat. By no means do I think that you actually will, but I promise that I counted. Do what you want with that information. That feels like a lot, but when I watched, I don't.
When did what did he say? Like during the
second moto.
The second moto. Well, I mean, because Deegan's was.
They're just talking about the. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people hear things during the commentating, and it drives them crazy. And I think the only thing I hear is the mispronunciation of certain words by some of the commentators. But other than that,
I don't know. I was pretty flustered.
Frustrated.
Frustrated. I was pretty frustrated. Yeah.
He's very, very frustrated.
No, that's not what he says. Frustrated.
There's no R. Frustrated.
Yeah, frustrated.
I thought he said it. I thought he put an L in it, like saying frustrated.
I don't think so. I think it's no R. I think it's just no R.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's just frustrated. I'm almost positive it's just frustrated. And it's kind of frustrating. But other than that, I don't really notice. I don't even notice like when there's a problem so much. I just whatever, man.
All right, a couple of points on that. First of all, he's leading the points. He's an up and coming star. The show's almost 5 hours long when you consider the after, the halftime, the after show, and the race day live. Like they're talking for almost 5.5, 6 hours.
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to go that long.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're good.
So, yeah, 125 kind of sounds like a lot, but if you really wanted to like make that argument, I'd have to see like a chart of everybody else in top 5 in points.
You're putting way too much thought into this.
It's what
I kind of feel like maybe this person doesn't like Deegan. It was just driving him crazy. Like now, I think at Redbud,
I mean,
I'm going to try to focus on it. Be like, ooh, are they saying
so like a drinking game?
Huh?
Like a drinking game?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'll do that, but I'll be like, they said, or like with a few of the names and try to see if it feels equal or if it really.
I can see him the way he takes notes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be pausing it.
Yeah.
I'll have hash marks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, does it bother you guys? Did you notice? Even
I didn't notice.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
They can only talk about what's on the screen.
Since TJ's in a hurry, we'll do one more.
Awesome.
And this
He's
question
not in a hurry.
this question I can ask, it cannot be things that are overpriced. Okay. What keeps you up at night?
Things that are overpriced.
Oh, I sleep.
Nothing worries you ever.
No.
I mean, there's like the monster in my closet maybe like scares me. It takes me a while to fall asleep. I stress about finances, so I will wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh shit, oh goddamn, and I'll start thinking, oh, those bills due. I don't think I have that money. Fuck, what about this? So that money will keep me up at night, and if there's a problem in my relationship, I'm done. I won't sleep. So those are the two things that, and it's not a regular basis, but when those things are happening, that keeps me up at night for sure.
I mean, even when things were going, I was laid off, didn't have a job, all that kind of stuff, I slept like a baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because TJ doesn't care about people, that's why we don't go riding together and stuff. He just cares about himself.
You won't go with me.
Scotty? Anything?
Yeah, I think just kind of just general stuff. Okay.
Jesus.
Come on, man. My voice is going to break any second, so it's fine.
Was that really a voice break, or is it just?
No, I'm saying my voice breaks sometimes. I'll do like a puberty.
Yeah. What was that? What was I supposed to be answering?
I don't know. What keeps you up at night?
The constant thoughts of you, TJ, making fun of me all the time. I just can't.
Listen to that.
I cry all
the
night.
The group message where I'm going to get rated for something that.
What about the group message we have that he's not in because he's got a stupid green bubble?
Green bubbles.
Yeah, having an Android keeps me up all night. I can never sleep because of my crazy Android that I have.
We can fix that.
Yeah. Man, if usually I go to bed pretty good. I do have like a
Apparently
routine.
Lewis isn't listening because he never answered our.
Do you want me to answer one question or not?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I didn't realize you were talking.
Did you have me muted again? Like
No,
the beginning of the show?
that was on purpose.
Yeah. Anyway, so like if I have my routine where I go to sleep, where like I have watch TV and I have like
Fuck, I didn't know it
whatever.
was going to be this long.
And if I do have something stressful like work or like I'm worried about a bill or something like that, then yeah, that probably will keep me up as well.
Awesome.
Who's your phone service with?
Verizon.
Let's see what kind of deal they got.
He's still with Altel.
Yeah. Oh god.
Hey, just so you guys know, ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They have been supplying quality components for almost 50 years. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets, ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealer. Visit prox-usa.com and search for parts for your bike. If you guys need to do some work on your bike, you're looking for some parts at a good price, reliable, ProX will hook you up. They have all kinds of great stuff, like in the reed. I mean, I have a ProX chain that I got and some sprockets. I got a bunch of stuff from ProX recently. They really took care of me, so hit those guys up. ProX was supposed to bring you originally Will Hahn and then A-Ray, and both those guys bailed on us for now, but we'll get them. We'll get it handled. No big deal. Let's go back to these father-son reads, and then we'll do the EVS picks for Redbud, and then we can call it a night.
Hey, you can get an iPhone for free from Verizon right now.
Yeah, Jasmine got a 14. We just got part of the plan.
15. They just said you get, and then it has your coveted USB-C on the iPhone 15.
That's not why I like an Android.
See, and then you can FaceTime your chick. And have great messaging.
What kind of phone does Aladdin use?
Does what?
Aladdin.
I don't do what.
We said Jasmine has.
Yeah.
All right, that was weak.
Yeah, that was dumb.
That was real dumb. Like you
Dumb
just brought
side.
the whole show down.
I'm Scott Dumpson.
You know what?
And
Let's bring it
you're
back
dumb
up with some
side.
father-son stories. Got a
There
couple
you
left. All right, Anthony Bennett. Back in 91, my old man hung up his dirt bike boots after a gnarly crash at Dade City that left him with a busted leg and arm. Fast forward to 2006, I'm 20 and working at a Kawasaki shop. One day I snagged an 06 KX250F demo bike. Who knew they had demo bikes? I've never seen that. And convinced my dad to hit the trails with me. We're cruising along at Croom when I glance back just in time to see him head shoulder check the ground while the bike front flips over him.
I was just listening to what you're saying. Like I was like, that's
somehow missing him. I rush over to pick up the bike as he stumbles to a fallen log to take a seat. I sit down with him. What happened, Dad? Root get you? I asked, thinking it was a typical spill. He chuckles, rubbing his shoulder, says, nope, these damn front brakes are way better than they were in the 90s. We're both laughing when he looked up and spotted the squirrel about 10 feet away, staring at us like he's in on the joke. The little guy even chirps at us, his giant pair of nuts swinging like he's mocking his wife out. Hands down, that day, riding with my old man and getting laughed at by a squirrel with attitude tops my list of unforgettable moments. Okay, I like it. You guys like it?
I've seen a front brake do some damage to some people that like rode it back in the day and then haven't rode and like, oh yeah, I know how to ride a dirt bike, and then honk and yeah, right over the bars.
Trying to see if there's any more. I do believe I've got another one. A whole bunch of pictures of me.
Whole bunch of pictures of me.
Wow, that was really rude.
You take pictures of yourself?
No, they're photos that were taken at Thunder Valley.
Yeah, just people take so many pictures.
Photos of me. Photos that
so
were
popular.
Taken from Thunder Valley of me racing for the article.
Oh, okay.
They sent them over. Smart ass.
He's probably just like,
look at that great pig.
This is not one of the father-son ones, but our guy Moose sent in. He said, "Hey mate, Hudson's awesome.
Favorite.
Hey mate, Hudson's awesome and should have a regular segment like Hudson's hot take or Turd's turd of the week."
That's pretty good.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
I may hit up Hudson. And
he had some zingers.
We'll do it like every other week or something. Yeah. He gave me a top 5 also that was, so we're kind of all out of order here, but that doesn't matter. Visit old iconic race circuits like Namur. Dude, you got to speak English, Moose. Namur, Farley, Castle, and Lommel. Do some Speedway Grand Prix in Europe as well as some Speedway League matches in England and Europe where their top riders earn awesome money with a lot of them ex-motocross riders. Come to America and buy a motorhome and do the complete AMA SMX series from January to Ironman and MXON, a Mediterranean cruise with my family. which should be number 1, sit in on the pony pod so I can stick up for that wonderful man, TJ, and give that Jamie Guida guy the shit he deserves. Wow. You are not welcome, Moose.
Told you Moose is awesome.
Yeah, I should have pre-read that, motherfucker. Sorry about that. Probably going to get red flagged for that crap.
We'll blame you for that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any more. I have a last one here. This is Best Ride My Dad. This is from Garrett Rockley. Howdy, gents. Killer job you're doing. I enjoy the YouTube and conversations with all the people watching. Best day with my dad on a bike. Easy peasy. November 2023 at the Armor Finals in Henrietta, Oklahoma. Put on by Trampus and Sherry Parker. Trampus has a race called the Okie Wild West Shootout. Air-cooled, drum brakes, 100cc 2-strokes or 200cc 4-strokes. 3-man teams with a combined age of 150 years or older. There's some other rules, but I'll keep it short as possible. 3 motos over 2 days, and each guy starts a moto. Each rides a middle stint, and each finishes a moto. On rider exchange, you have a colored sweatband that goes on the current rider's arm. Anyways, my dad, 70, myself, our third rider, are sitting top 4 out of 20 going into the last moto. We are ahead of teams with Trampus Parker, 2-time world MX champion, and his son, Ricky, former 600cc Super Sport road race champ. Ashley, I'm reading this terrible. Ashley Luck would have, as luck would have it, is what it's supposed to say. The team in first got DQ'd for having 2 ex-professional racers on their squad. Big no-no. That moves us up to third. Moto 3, start out third guy, comes out of turn 1 and fourth after going into the first turn mid-pack. He moves up to third behind the 2 Parkers. Dad rides the middle, loses 2 spots. My turn, hair on fire, over 3 laps. I gain his 2 lost spots and 1 extra with 2 turns to go and put a second on track behind Trampus Parker's team. That pass gives us second overall in the third moto, tie break with Dad's arch nemesis Bob Bean's team. I have the chills just typing this story out. We shocked the whole race. Also, I'd like to publicly apologize again for pushing Cole Johnson, that's our buddy at Johnsonville, out of the way in Moto 2, but in the grand scheme, that 1 point won us the silver boot. I did include a photo of me behind Cole, but that's the best day of riding I've had with my dad. So, dude, I really like these stories. I don't know if everybody listening even cared or not, but I think that's what
it's all about, man.
Right? Yeah, for us, that's what it was about. We rode with our dads.
I need to get Garrett. He's in the chat. Garrett's like, hit me up on Instagram or something like that, and I'd like to find out more about this because I could build us a bike for that.
Could you?
That'd be a fun build. Like, that's something I would actually enjoy doing, like a XR200.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
There's one more. Do you guys talk about it? Actually, let's do, there's an email I'm trying to find that I know I was given that I would like to read before we close, but I can't find it. I'll look for it while we do the EVS picks for Washougal. EVS picks.
Washougal.
Why did I write Washougal? That's coming.
Got a couple more to go, bud.
From Redbud. Redbud. Jesus. Over the past 39 years, EVS Sports has established itself as the leader in innovation and technology when it comes to designing protection gear for today's motocross riders. Athletes like RJ Hampshire, Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norton, Axel Hodges, and Travis Pastrana all wear EVS when they race, ride, or whatever Travis decides to do that day. Check out evs-sports.com and use the code VITALMX30, all caps, to save and gear up like the pros. Dude, if you don't have something of EVS, you're missing out. So use that promo code. TJ, Scotty, you guys do your EVS picks for Redbud. I need to write them down, but I also need to find that email. But
I'm actually kind of, speaking of EVS, Scotty, I'm actually kind of bummed. I finally wore through my EVS gloves that I love so much this weekend.
Like
falling on rocks.
You had specific gloves from EVS?
There's a set of EVS gloves that I really like. They had a good leather palm to them and like a stretchy material on top. They were freaking awesome, and I tore them up this weekend. But I've had them for like 2 years, so maybe long. I'd ride pit bikes in them like
constantly.
Yep. So what are your picks? Scotty?
Podium picks 450 class. I'm gonna go. It's pretty obvious who the 3 are. You know, like.
Is there anybody at Red? There's nobody to me that's like Redbud specialist kind of a situation out of the top 3.
What? Oh, AP went down in the first moto, right? Because he was okay in the second one. He got like 4th, I think. I'm trying to. I didn't hear much about AP. I didn't see.
I know that, but like I just don't see.
I could think he could podium. I'm gonna put AP 3rd.
Who does AP beat straight up out of the 3?
You never know how it goes. I'm just trying to be different.
No, I mean, like, can AP, I know you're trying to be different, but we're trying to pick the actual winner.
I think AP can beat Hunter if he has a good moto.
You just straight up beat him, and Hunter we know can straight up beat the other two if things go right.
Yeah, I'd say at this point, I think the only two other people besides Hunter, Jet, and Chase that can legitimately win a moto would be AP and Anderson.
I don't know if I mean, don't get me wrong.
I still think it's a long shot for them to win one, but
sure.
I think
AP gets you say a moto one. I think AP gets
or
a podium.
Yeah. So that's why I said I put him at third. I'm going to do.
Okay, AP's third for you?
Yeah. Jet second, Chase first.
Okay. TJ?
Yeah, it's going to be Jet, Chase, and Hunter.
See, that's.
I don't care how boring.
I know,
it is,
but that's why that's what I was trying to avoid. Trying to throw some sparks in there.
Chase, Hunter, Jet.
But my question is, say,
Jake Coop's pretty good at Red Bud, right?
Okay, yeah, and Jake Coop's good everywhere.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
But I guess, I mean, if you're just trying to pick the winners and you want to kind of be right, you know what I mean? You don't really pick with your heart, as they would say. Yeah. I mean, do you think that? I mean, I genuinely think that J. Coop can beat Anderson right now.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
actually, I should put J. Coop in that list of people who could win a moto. You already almost did it.
Oh, there it is. I just keep talking.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like those guys are battling for fourth, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I think I'm just trying to change it up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're trying to like bet on somebody going down, then maybe.
Yeah, or just a bad moto or something.
Close this out real quick. Anthony Bennett actually sent this, and so Derek Gravitt won the contest for the father-son. We did that. We drew that out of a hat. His buddy sent this, and he said, Derek Gravitt, who won your father-son story contest, is a good friend of mine. We've been talking shit to each other. Whose story's better? I'd love for you to tell him that mine was better. So that was what I was supposed to do when I was reading Anthony's, and I could not freaking remember which one it was.
Can you remind us the winner's story? Because that was like a couple of weeks ago.
It was. I deleted it off my phone, so I'd have to find it real fast if you would like me to.
No, it'd take you too
long.
Or
you could go back and listen to that show.
Yep. Nope. Go ahead.
So we're going to close this thing out. We're going to thank our presenting sponsors, Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. And we're also going to thank Guts Racing, FXR, X-Brand, ProX, EVS Protection, Evans Coolant, Barnett Clutches, T-Bolt USA. We're going to thank our guests, not A-Ray, not Will Hahn.
I was excited to hear both. I was so excited to talk to both of those guys.
Will said he'd be on next week, and we could get A-Ray on.
You said, you're not invited to the show anymore.
Yeah, we're about to fire him.
I know it's kind of your show.
We do want to thank Cooper Webb. That was 45-minute interview. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he was totally cool. I think you could have got him to do another 5 minutes. I mean, I know you're not going to, but
I thought he was going to say like another 20. I think you could have done another 5 minutes.
5, 10.
I could ask one more question.
I think I would rather have.
I'm trying to be reasonable.
That's true.
I think you could have done like at least 30 more seconds.
Yeah, we could have totally got another second out of him.
And Brent Duffe, of course, coming on. Brent Duffe. We call him Duff. Duffy is his actual last name. But thanks to those guys. Thanks to our YouTube listeners. Again, MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. Get involved. Send us your emails. Join the Fantasy League on Vital MX. Anything else, guys, before we wrap this up?
Nope.
Is TJ's ready to go? Oh, wait, you know what? We got a call. We got another guest. We're going to do another hour and a half.
Let's do it.
We'll be back next week, guys. Thanks for listening. We're out.